I am Winston, joined here by Beasty in the casting booth. It is gonna be time. Woo! Didn't even see the draft. But let's dive into game number 1 here on Coastal Cliffs. We have Anotand versus Louie. Delhi for Anotand, Roos for Louie. What are you seeing here?
So this is a very interesting one. There was a little bit of a discussion regarding this matchup because Delhi is not usually played here on Coastal because there's only 2 sacred sites, but people realized, you know, you don't expect me to play Delhi, so I'm going to pick Roos because people love playing Delhi into Roos. So it's kind of a little bit of a snipe, if you will, with Delhi against Roos, even though Delhi, not the greatest map for it. So I guess Anotand got what he wanted, and we'll see how Louie reacts to it and if he's going to be too happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We've seen Roos do quite poorly in this tournament so far, like pretty drastically bad.
Yep.
And this has been a talking point behind the scenes. Players are, I don't know if people are surprised, but what keeps surprising me is that like some players just aren't adapting to this. And I'm wondering, do you think it's too early to adapt from prep? Or would you as a player just stick to what you know from prep and say, okay, it might be losing, but I can do it?
I mean, I didn't pick it in my draft because I was like, you know what? Seeing everybody lose, seeing myself lose, I'm like, maybe I should just skip it, you know, let my opponent pick it. So I think people are very practiced with it, they're used to it, and some people are like, you know what, I'm just going to practice or play what I practice, basically. I'm not going to change my plans too much. What's interesting is Louie played this matchup earlier in the tournament, but he played Delhi. He was the Delhi player, and if I'm not mistaken, he played against Puppy Paw, which he did manage to win with Delhi. So this is a bit of a reverse one, and maybe Louie has different plans. You know, maybe he's figured something out, so we'll see what he's able to do against Delhi.
Yeah, I feel like I keep seeing this Roos play, and I keep seeing like a semi-investment to Feudal Knights with the follow-up attempt to go FC into Horse Archer, and I'm just wondering how you feel about that right now. Like, do you think it's worth it to be building these 6 knights?
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people are trying different things. Like some are like, okay, I'll make some spearmen and fast castle horse archers. Some are going knights. The thing is, against Delhi, you don't want to stay in feudal for too long. So you got to find that sweet spot where it's like you find a deer, but you actually manage to transition. At the same time, you want to make sure the sacred sites are not in control of Delhi player, which is a simple plan, but a very hard one to execute.
No real surprises here in terms of choices. Nothing crazy to really stand out. Can we get a quick look at the sheep count here? After all, I mean, we did have the Roos 2 Scout opening, and it looks like, I mean, probably not too mad for Anotand, right, to be against Roos.
He got about 8, I guess, total.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's still cooking with Roos. He's still going to find a couple. Looking at the deer situation, which is very important in any kind of pro scouting, both deer packs are forward, but that one is obviously close. He should be able to get that one. The second one is a little bit far, the one we're looking at right now, so there's going to be heavily contested. And the problem comes in, if you're doing any kind of fast castle, that second deer pack, good luck to you getting it without a lot of units. So he will either have to just get the first one and age up, or he will have to commit to a lot of units getting the second one.
Yeah, and our age ups are in. Not too much going on just yet. We have a little bit of harassment, but I mean, this is just poking, prodding, having a little fun with the game.
There we go, 15 to 12.
Yeah, we've seen this. Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. We've seen this Roos build played out almost the same way as Louie's previous attempt. Not really seeing any surprises. Anything else on the map stand out to you in terms of like gold and wood spawns? There's no good high trade house, I suppose.
We see Anotand's first deer pack super safe, but it's not as important for Delhi because you are the one that's going to be usually doing the pressure. He has one of the berries saved. The second berry is very out, actually. It's almost close to the sacred side, but same is for Louie. So I would say the spawns are pretty balanced, and the wood lines for Louie, one's on the other side, or one side, one's on the other side. So yeah, it looks pretty even so far, and we will see. Louie will obviously go pro scouting. Now the question is, how much will he commit, and what is he going to do with that? Because Anotand is definitely going to try and stop that.
Yeah, we're seeing the commitment to the barracks already. This is just in preparation for the pretty much inevitable Ghazi Raiders out of Delhi here.
Yep.
Kind of wondering though, like about this commitment. Once you go Castle Age, we're seeing a lot of players just try like kind of the tried and true horse archer spam, see if it works. And I think every game that I've seen so far in this tournament, the horse archers just do not seem to be doing it. a player will have 13, 18, and still just lose to whatever the opponent is making. Do you think that this has some impact on like how well Roos is doing? Is that just something about this transition just isn't working the way it used to?
Yeah, I think before people were just letting Roos get like deer almost for free, and now everyone's kind of committing a lot to preventing it. Now, we see something already very interesting that happened in Delhi's base. Anotand had the Scholar in stables. He was making Ghazi. The moment he saw barracks, he pulled the Scholar out. So this either tells me that he will transition to something else, and we see that he is transitioning to Spearman. So he sees the barracks, he says, you know what, I'm going to make a couple of Ghazi just to make him continue producing Spearman, but I'm actually going to completely switch. And now this forces Louis to either go archers or to age up, because the Spearmen, once they arrive, obviously they will be able to deny the pro scouting.
Yeah, and this is also when it's like really tricky to, I feel like, get good scouting opponent, because your opponent at this stage of the game, Anotand is so aware of each of these units that he has on the board. He's really trying to make sure that none of these scouts get the deer, but he's also going to just see scouts circling his base. So I think he even denied vision onto his own base, and it's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to know that the switch up is coming until you really see it? We've seen a lot of the Roos players just opening with a range pretty quickly, too, as a follow-up to this, and then going stable, maybe double range stable. I think you might have opened triple range at one point in one of your Roos games early on in the first set.
Did not go well.
Against Anotand. Yes, that was a disaster. But yeah, I'm just wondering, yeah, like, I'm wondering what the plan is for Roos just in this mid-feudal. Like, I guess we'll see how Louis adapts this game.
Yeah, right now it looks pretty good. Yeah. So if you open Spearman immediately, you can get to deny the pro scouting, but because you open stable first, you can see the Spearmen are a bit late, and actually this is the second deer pack that's already coming in. So I would say Louis is most likely happy with this, and we do see archers. So he's going to make a couple, and like I said, if you do not make any units, he will not be able to get the second deer pack, and he's just going to be kind of stuck with one, and then maybe Anotand can mass units in order to prevent any kind of fast castle and then spamming units from then on out. Both sacred sites secure. He's going to do quick walls immediately, so that's pretty good for Anotand. And now the playing field kind of switches into Anotand's court now. He can either commit to units or go fast castle himself.
Yeah, and as he's building up on these sacred sites, we talk about Delhi not being like the best on this map, and that is because there's one less sacred site. Do you think this has like a huge impact on, you know, Delhi's win condition here, or is it just sort of like same old, same old?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot less resources, right, that you're playing with, but then again, sometimes on Drarebi you're not going to have all three sacred sites, right? So a lot of players avoid playing Delhi for that reason on these kinds of maps, because it's also a lot easier for your opponent to control two sacred sites rather than three. Your Ghazi Raiders are not as effective, so there's a lot of things that go into it, and Anotand's food is kind of piling up right now, which leads me to believe, together with these walls, that he is trying to do a quick wall, getting some gold from the sacred side and reach castle.
Yeah, looks like he should just about get enough gold just from this and maybe a few on gold at home. And he just finished prop scouts a minute ago, and so we're starting to see this first wave of deer come in, which is going to just help even further boost that food. Going into Castle Age for Anotand, if this is the play, which it seems like it will be, what do you think his best choice is?
So it depends on what the opponent is doing at that point, because if the opponent is like all-inning you, elephants are great at holding and man-at-arms and stuff like that. You don't want to commit to archers. What's interesting is Louis added stables too. So Louis did not decap that. That's a big mistake, actually. He moved away the units before the decap happened, and he is committing to knights too. Now, what's interesting is Delhi is usually a civ that spams units, so I think he's expecting like, okay, let's fight. Actually, I got 2 deer packs, let's fight. But Anotand wants none of that, and he will be looking for the age up very, very quickly. That scout, tries to bait it into the knight, but kind of damages himself quite a bit. So Louis is out for blood. Yeah,
and here comes the Castle Age from Anotand right behind it. Louis, we did mention, failed to decap the one sacred set he had already blocked. So, I mean, Anotand already at 400 gold right now is probably not feeling too bad. And here we do see this semi-commitment to knights from Louis. So it's not really going to be in time. This Knight Archer mass isn't massive. It's not a huge threat. And Anotand is certainly going to have enough time to just create some strong units, you know, whatever he wants, basically, probably Lancer, right? To just try and fight this, and he can quickly produce these.
I kind of wonder if Louis is smelling it a little bit, because that's not a lot of units from Delhi. Like, you're not supposed to be out-massing Delhi at this point in the game. And now that the problem with what Anotand is doing is he's getting faster castle, he's getting better tech, but he's actually going to lose the third deer pack, which is not only food that he's losing, but his opponent is gaining. So it's gonna double the value in terms of how many units you'll be able to produce. So I think Louis is going to be very happy with that. At the same time, he kind of needs to age up too. He cannot... Making units this point forward will not give you as much value as if you just transition and upgrade those same units.
Yeah, now he's going up to 7 knights, and I think this is just what I keep seeing from Roost players, and clearly this has value, but it's just not working against any Civ's timings. Like this is exactly what we've seen every single time with Roost here, and that's just why I'm curious about adaptation and maybe the lack thereof here, and if that's like a critical issue here or just. Maybe I'm missing something because I'm you know me, I'm not the best player around, so it's like it's surprising.
Yeah, what's interesting is I mean Anotand immediately queuing up 2 elephants, right? So if you try any type of dive, that elephant is just not dying.
Yeah.
So now I feel like Louis maybe overcommitted a bit on the units. If he made like 3-4 less knights, he would be aging up to castle 2. 2 elephants already out. Okay, so you had double producing. He will now try to get relics, and now we're at the second part of the game where basically we're going to be fighting around relics and seeing who gets more off, which obviously Delhi has an advantage right now.
Yeah, and there's only 11 spears on the board. You're going to need more than that to deal with these elephants right now because they're only hardened spearmen. I mean, you have some support units, but you'd be surprised at how little damage these archers and knights are even going to do to these chunky boys on the field. So
yeah, you look at these and you're like, wow, isn't it overextending? And we're about to find out, but sometimes you have a big army attack elephants and then you lose everything. You're like, okay, well, I should not have done that. But those elephants are very brave. They're just going for it. They don't care. They want those relics secured.
Yeah, and I think Louis is really trying to preserve his massive spearmen here. He might try and get some fight in, but I don't know. He's so close to aging up. Could he maybe wait, or does he just need to buy time?
Yeah, I think Louis wants to deny relics. He's still trickling in units. You can see he has a little bit of a surplus of food, so he's still producing some spearmen, some archers. He wants to age up, and he wants to deny relics, because if he goes home now, he loses all the relics, right? So this is why you have to be active on the map still. Even though it's scary, you might get overwhelmed. If you just let your opponents get 5 relics, I mean, you didn't really accomplish much by all these units and all this pressure, so... We see the last deer, I think, from Anotand, the second deer pack, is getting yoinked right there. So yeah, Anotand is now needing to put some pressure on, but Louis has so many units in front of his base, so it's very hard to move out.
Yeah, and this one elephant is getting a little low, and the spearman count is up to 16 and climbing. We're going to get vet spear, and at that point, there's a real risk in losing this investment in elephants. We talked a little bit about the food, and Anotand is stressed to the wall for food. He does have 1,000 food per minute for this moment, but as we talked about, he didn't get even his second hunt from Prof Scout. So his transition to farms is going to have to come a lot earlier. You mentioned the berry patch early in the game. It's kind of down on that southern side. If Louis is able to keep the central map control flowing, he'll be able to deny food, and Anotand could run out of smoke really quick. But 3 junkers on the field.
Yeah,
Things are heating up in elephant land.
We're entering a state of the game where Anotand has to make ranged units. Like the mass melee comps only work until a certain point, and we're at that point. He needs to switch to something else because Louis will be making knights plus crossbows. So he can actually ditch the spearmen, which gets countered by men-at-arms. Crossbows counter everything Anotand has. So if he actually just makes a lot of crossbows and has a mobile army and knights, Anotand's army is just going to be a lot weaker.
Yeah, I don't think Anotand really wants Louis to take this fight. Maybe just baiting it a bit. I feel like if the elephants just get charged on, a lot of the spears are going down here. Does he have vet spear?
Yeah, he's getting the upgrades.
Yeah, there's vet.
They
Okay,
just
so
kicked in, and
yeah,
with the crossbows coming out, like Louis feels this is one of those things where it's like the game is even, but it feels like that Anotand is very all in just because of the unit comp he has. We also see 5 villager kills, so Anotand doing some good harassment, reducing that villager count. Has 4 relics, by the way, on the way back home. No sacred sites, but Anotand's doing great right now. The problem is, how long is the food going to last? And we see some idle villagers around TC already. I'm not sure if Anotand is noticing that, but those guys are not gathering anything.
Not enough carcasses, but they're not showing up, and Yeah, starting to get the relics, but where are we even going to go for food? It's going to have to be to that berry in the south, probably, right? That's going to be the only real safe spot, right?
Yeah, and on the other side, Roos has more deer. He probably still has deer. He has high trade house that's making deer, 3 berry patches, and the boar. So this is the game of food right now.
And the Golden Gate to just help buy some food if
yeah, he can just keep spamming units, and Anotand will have to transition to farms or do something. Now we see archers coming in. I feel like Louis' comp is just very diverse, and it's very hard to deal with. But 6th Elephant is coming out, and we all know that they're very, very strong.
Yeah, they sort of just have this compounding factor where the more they are, the harder it gets to take one down, it feels like, right? And the spearman count for Louis, notably, he's going to be relying strictly on the crossbows. I mean, the knights get just kind of decked by elephants, so just going to be relying on crossbows for DPS here. Might be giving... aware Louis, able to avoid that, is able to start to neutralize some of these kills. In a fight in the center, the elephants are going to be taking the engagement. Crossbows are in the position, but the spearmen have to surround on several of the elephants. If 3 or 4 of these go down, the investment will be lost for Anotand and maybe the game. The archers potentially looking to dive to woodline. The crossbows going to have to retreat now. Their front line demolished by the big chonkers up front. And really up front, I mean, that's the whole force that he's been fighting.
Yeah, so he killed 2 elephants, lost the whole army, and that's kind of the power of the elephants. Like you said,
crossbows stayed alive, and half the knights were raiding, so I don't know if he lost his whole army, but... I mean, Anotand didn't have his whole army there either, right?
Yeah. So he's running away. The best thing Anotand can do is run back and heal those bad boys up.
Yeah, and it looks like he might be able to do so.
Yeah, he's trying to run away. The knights are still chasing. Now, one important thing is Anotand on the left side, the raid that we saw, that was his last food.
Here come the scholars.
There is no food income right now for Anotand. It is 0. It is dropping. He's making farms right there, which is just not going to work out for him, I think.
Well, if he's not able to keep them alive, the scholars have been pulled. This is 5 scholars to heal these elephants, but 1 elephant goes down before they can get the job done. The 2nd elephant is on the cusp of death, and he goes down as well. There is still 2 elephants on the field, 1 hiding on the woodline, waiting for some healing, waiting for some love. Maybe a hug is what he needs, because all of his friends are dying, and an elephant never forgets. But Louis must retreat here, but look at the idols. Look at the economy. I mean, Anotand is just kind of falling apart here in the macro from Louis. It seems pretty solid still.
Yeah, so what's happening right now is Louis, I think he just switched to berries, so his food per minute kind of dipped a little bit, which is not why there's not a lot of unit production coming out. And while, if we look at the unit count, this looks great for Anotand. 13 of those are scholars, and 2 are elephants. So, like, he basically has 2 elephants and a bunch of archers supporting them. So he is actually playing very, very aggressive with what he has right here. He's managing to get some villagers right now, and... now Louis is transitioning to horsemen. I feel like making that many knights that get directly countered by elephants was pretty rough situation. He does have 2 sacred sites, but he needs to get to a big number of crossbows, not to only deal with knights, with elephants, sorry. He needs to almost 2-shot them at this point.
Yeah.
Because otherwise scholars get way too much value.
You need like 30 crossbows for that, and the amount of time that's going to take to even build up could be a bit of an issue, because there are archers on the field, and I believe we even have pikes in, so these archers should feel pretty comfortable. This is
Yeah, right now Anotand's food economy is very bad still, because he's on like, I think 8 farms or something like that, but he has all of his villagers on wood, and archers are very cheap to produce. So if you look at the production, we see 1 knight queued up and nothing else. He just has no food, but he's been doing a very good job being super effective with these units.
For sure. The crossbow count is slowly growing for Louis, but he's bringing them here now. I don't know if he wants to get in range of these archers.
No, that is way too many archers, and he needs to find a way to just keep gathering food and try to amass a lot bigger army. Perhaps even what he's doing right now, just transition to mass horsemen to be able to surround the archers, because 2 elephants cannot deal with 20, 30 horsemen. It will get completely overwhelmed. And we do see Anotand securing that other berry patch, so he did manage to hold off, and he did manage to get more food for himself. So the unit production should resume for Anotand right now.
Yeah, that could be a couple more elephants on the field shortly. I mean, it was a big loss for Anotand's position when he traded off those, 6 elephants. Now, it was for Louis' army a bit, but a lot of the crossbows lived. Things are dicey here, and the Archer mass is still just growing. I mean, Anotand didn't have food, but like you said, it's not what you need for this Archer mass. And the 2 elephants to frontline, the horsemen, when are they ever going to get a good engagement here?
Yeah, and I feel like these archers are just getting so much value. Like, they picked off so many units, and if we look, Anotand traded 4,000, almost 5,000 soon resources more or better than Louis did. He's going to be picking up those crossbows. The elephants are tanking in the front. One is going to go down. And if Louis has enough income to just mass horsemen, he will be able to push this back. But that elephant is trying his best to stay alive.
But only 800 food per minute right now, it doesn't feel like it's enough income to really mass horsemen.
No.
At least early Castle Age, no. And you can tell the players are so focused here on this middle fight. Both of them just had almost 20 idle villagers. Things are kind of getting messy here in the final series of the day in Masters of Steel. This is game 1, and man, things are really spicy here. Anotand's bringing the heat. You know, Louis, after his recent games, has just been in a really solid position. Some would say maybe one of the favorites because he just came out of a win.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we saw Anotand basically playing with the same units for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 2 elephants, and it was like 20 archers, and nothing was dying. And Louis kept losing a knight here, a knight there, a crossbow here, crossbow there. So again, super, super efficient, which you see in the destroyed value right now. So Anotand's food per minute, 1.1k, now more than Louis'. Louis with 0 relics as well, 0 sacred sites. Is looking pretty rough.
yeah, the 5 relics have been kind of the unsung hero of Anotand's economy, because his economy was not great, right? But he was able to do this farm transition on the back of the Archer macro cost, and mostly at the back of 5 relics and the occasional sacred site income. And he's got them both again, which, you know, just a couple minutes ago, it looked like Louis might have been capturing some, but here it doesn't look like it's going to be the case for Louis. And maybe surprisingly, dropping a game here against Anotand.
Yeah, I mean, Anotand's in really good shape, and you can see it right here. I think he microed really well. Micro was on point, kiting with the units when needed on point. Kind of went in with the elephant sometimes, maybe a little bit too aggressive, but it worked out great. Louis did not manage to get the right engagements, and we have 45 army supply versus 7. And even though Louis has food per minute still pretty decent coming in, it's very hard to now come back from this position where there's units on top of your production.
Yeah, the units on top of production is just a death sentence here, and the farms are now exposed as well to the right of this. In the back of the base, not feeling safe. A single Lancer has made its way across, and there's the GG. Louis not feeling good after that one. A hefty head shake. Anotand, well, he's rubbing his hands together.
Giving a
he's
little
hungry.
smile.
Yeah, that was a little grin there, a little cheeky,
Anotand's
feeling
rubbing
good.
his hands like a goblin, and Louis is like, did I just...
Yeah, I mean,
That's still
Anotand's
game
almost
one.
in shock there, actually. He's like, a little bit of a grin, maybe. He's
Yeah.
confused. That's an impressive game from Anotand. At first, I thought Louis was really showing us the way with the Knights, but it didn't quite pan out, did it?
It started off really well. I think he got the deer pack, he got the second deer pack, he got Anotand's deer pack, but he kind of kept making Knights, which he just kind of overcommitted there instead of having a faster age up. But Anotand did win this matchup. Right? He got it, and he got the win. So this is a great feeling if you're playing. One of the worst things that can happen is you get the matchup you want and you lose, because then you're like, uh-oh. You know, that's not supposed to happen. So very well played from Anotand, and he will be 1-0 up against Louis.
Speaking of pressure, I was curious if you had any behind-the-scenes insight into maybe the mental state of these players going into this match. Did you get a chance to talk to them? We can see them now just donning their headphones and preparing to launch into this game. Do you have any insight as a player into what they're thinking?
I think everyone's confident. Like not just these two guys, but everyone I talk to is like super confident that they will do well and they're going to win their games. And obviously a lot of these guys practice with each other, so they kind of, you know, are like, oh yeah, I'm doing pretty well against this guy in practice, and he just beat this guy. So simple math that I should be that guy too. Obviously not how it works, you know, but people have been very, very confident. And I think I talked to Anotand a little bit. He said, yeah, I think I can win. I'm not too worried. They practiced apparently a lot for the previous tournament or the one before. I lost track. We had that conversation. So I feel like he kind of knows how he's playing. Louis knows how Anotand's playing. So they're pretty familiar with each other. And I think it's going to come down to who can play better today.
It appears to me that we do have a game to go into, and let's dive in to game number 2 in the final set of today. We do have the lovely Kawasan with the mountain of berries in the middle and 2 lakes on either side. We can see with this lovely swooping cam as our players scout the map looking for sheep, and they send their vills forward to dock.
Yeah, and we see the pink villager right there. Now, this map is very interesting. You can play it a lot of different ways. You can go, number 1 is just age up and then make a dock. Number 2 is make a dock 3 fishing ships into age up. Number 3 is just keep making fishing ships. So it is very complicated, and it's going to take, we don't have that much time to explain, but basically it depends what civ you're playing, what civ you're playing against, what your opponent is doing. So if your opponent is aging up, you can't be super greedy, right? So the opponents or the players will definitely try to kind of see, okay, are you making dock? Are you aging up first? Kind of what's going on? But usually KT definitely wants to go for a dock because they get so much value from chopping wood.
Yeah, and they also, as far as I understand, they want to be on your pond a little bit, right? Because they're going to have that fast age.
Yeah, they do want to
They want to
fight.
play aggro potentially.
Right.
Yeah, they want to fight.
They do want to fight because of the wood gathering. It is very, very good. But what I'm seeing right here is House of Wisdom, and this looks like a fast age up from Anotand, but
Skipping the dock.
does he have 1 on gold? Can we check that? Okay, he has 2 on gold. Okay, I was going to say either he mistimed the fast age up, which costs 125 gold and I think 225 food. But with 2 on gold, now 3, he will be going for, I'm assuming,
Industry.
Eco-Wing growth or industry would make the most sense. But I'm hoping for Gamba Wing.
I just yelled industry pretty loudly, I realized, because I got excited, and I really want to see it work. I was telling you about this. I want to see it work. You want to see Gamba Wing work as well? So
And Anotand is the funny thing is these 2 guys are the guys who go for Gamba Wing the most out of anyone, I think. So
oh, here it is. Here it is.
And that's why, guys, I am here commentating and not playing with these guys.
Oh, man. And so here we have it. Tradewing Bazaar coming in, which, you know, we don't always see this at the start of Feudal Age, at least not in tournament play. This isn't the most common thing. So it gives you just an option every minute. You get some buys to buy some random options. And it does require a decent amount of gold income because you need to have those villagers on gold and you need to be able to sustain that. But what it can give you is just a ton of stuff. And how you use that stuff is up to you. What you get is up to the Gamba gods. And
that's
we'll
right.
see what Louis does about this, because this is kind of playing almost against Knight Templar in a way, right? Part of their value here is that they can win the water. Well, what if you just don't play water?
Yeah,
well, he's gonna now, but like with the fast
one
age
good
up.
thing about Tradewing is you can also get wood. So you can actually just buy wood if needed, and that can kind of
just put every villager on gold
and be like, come on, one time.
Idle TC, every vill on gold. If your TC goes idle, you just buy vills and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think that Louis is also very comfortable with this because he also plays Tradewing Bazaar quite often. He will not be like, oh my god, what do I do? He knows, okay, I need to check what unit, if there's units coming out, first of all. Because if there's units coming out, the dynamic of the whole matchup changes quite a bit. So we can see that scout. I would not be surprised if Louis now goes around in front of that House of Wisdom and just be like, okay, let me just sit around here, see what you have. And Anotand right now is like, come on. You know, lucky number, whatever, 7, come on.
He's at the casino right now.
Yeah.
He's no longer playing
AoE.
AoE.
Hoping he rolls high here. Probably what he wants the most would be potentially like 4 units and then like double wood. That would be, you know, the dream. But I think even if you get 2 units, the reason why Gamba Wing is played on hybrid maps, if he gets 2 units, let's say he gets 2...
he sees it. He just saw... Did you see that laugh? He laughed. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Louis literally chuckled when he saw the
so
Bedouin.
he sees the units, and the problem why this is so good on hybrid maps is now Louis has to make barracks or stables or archer ranges, but Anotand is actually fully committing to water. So it creates this weird kind of situation for Louis where he now needs to respond both on land and water, and Anotand only really is investing on water.
Yeah, I mean, he's spending his landmark charges here, but yeah, so it's interesting. So he did get 2 unit packs, like you mentioned, and was able to produce his first Bagla.
He knows how to do Gamba Wing, I'm telling you. He knows what's up. He's practiced, and he's here to get Louis. Now, these sprinkle ships are coming out. We see Archer ship coming out. Anotand a little bit struggling for wood. No follow-up in terms of ships right now.
Get lucky.
Right, right. Not lucky enough.
Yeah.
No demo ship, no archer ship. So I feel like Louis now second ship, third ship on the way.
What is?
Oh, Louis.
Oh, he's avoiding the skirms. Okay.
See, this is kind of the issue, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't make any production buildings, and now we see Anotand a bit struggling on water because he didn't need all that gold for the units. But at the same time, Louis now having some idle time, and that is going to be swift and easy defense right there.
Yeah, and that does mean that even though there's a bit of idle time on the water, KT, who's usually a little bit behind in Vils, is actually equal because of the fish neutralizing that. But we say behind in Vils. Now, the Hospitaller Vils, when you go up with Hospitaller, one of the biggest benefits is that defense, right? They're a little bit faster. They have more HP. It's a lot harder for these raids to kill a Vil, and we saw Louis previously when he was playing the Civ being really, really effective at keeping these villagers alive. He would pull off hurt ones and go to the Strags near the TC, maybe go send them to Sheep, and these Vils are literally, these units are literally on stand ground, just kind of menacingly staring down. Let's see what these next buys are. Ooh, never lucky. That is a stone buy, and traders could be interesting. I guess you could wait.
Yeah, you could make traders. It's obviously not great, but you know, it's something. And now this is a nightmare for Louis.
I think the
right
traders
now.
are literally awful, though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That
you
would
could make
give you,
some
like, 2
crazy
gold.
market, but yeah,
You'd have to
it
build
is
up.
not great. So this is the nightmare fuel right here.
Yeah.
And this is why we call it Gamba Wing, because if you got anything else other than these skirmishers, we're seeing a completely different game where Louis is just gathering wood, he's enjoying his life, but these guys are doing so much work, and in the situation where KT should now be pumping a lot of units, pumping fishing ships, he's forced to run back and forth, which is definitely not what he wants to do, but he does secure the lake. Anotand managed to grab the other one, and both of the players will actually just boom up with a lot of fishing ships.
And that will help Louis out a little bit because he'll be able to build some more of these horsemen, which are going to be pretty important here as there's quite a lot of just mass coming now for Anotand with the Desert Raiders behind this.
Can we check the Gamba Wing? I think it has kicked in. Oh my god.
Oh, we got some units.
Oh god. Okay, if I'm Louis and I see that, I am not happy. I will say that. To be fair, the last time I've seen Louis play Gamba Wing, he got almost identical. Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is, right? Sometimes you get lucky with the Gamba, sometimes a bit unlucky. But Anotand is loving this right now. He has 8 units on the field from that age up, and he has 2 Desert Raiders. So Louis needs to catch up with the land units ASAP in order to be able to survive. And we see 4 swordsmen actually, so 2 more popped out.
He's having so much fun with the Gamba Wing units, he just forgot to get Golden Age. He's just on 9 out of 10. Like, it'll be 50 wood to really help him out.
Look at, oh my god, look at Louis' face. I think he just saw the rest of the units. He is shaking his head. He cannot believe what is happening.
Because now his wood line is about to be pressured here on the south. He's going to have to run.
And we have to say, do not try this at home. If you try, you'll get 3 traders and your opponent's going to kill you. So don't go with that. You have to be very experienced in order to use this wing. So we see some horsemen. He's trying to engage, but that is just a lot of units. Let's see if he can get a good engagement. Getting a wrap around. Desert Raider goes down. The skirmishers are going down, and I feel like Louis had way less units, but he's taking really good trade right now. This is probably as good as he gets.
Yeah, every single skirmisher has gone. Oh, I say that. Every single skirmisher has gone down. And now with just a few swordsmen left, the archers are just sort of going to feast here.
Yeah, he's going to push him back, and I feel like that was a big loss for Anotand. Losing swordsmen is actually not a big deal because they are a melee unit and it's whatever. Skirmishers actually do a lot of damage against light units, so losing, I think it was 6 of them, right?
Yeah, there was quite a lot there.
Yeah, that is just all. We kind of have the game completely swung in now in Louis' favor, so finally the Golden Age comes in, and Louis is probably very happy with that engagement right now. He's still producing horsemen, a lot of archers. We're going to see some pilgrims coming in, so he managed to kind of survive this early game, and the Gamba is over for now.
Yeah, and I think that safe passage click really indicates that Louis is feeling comfortable now. He might be gambling that Anotand doesn't get lucky again. But for the time being, like, he must be feeling so confident right now because that fight really it felt like a miracle, right? His wood line was super exposed. If that went worse, he just has to idle the wood line again, and that could have been disaster.
It's like, I mean, that's his whole economy, right? Can we check the worker count? I think all of it is on wood at this point. Like, I don't even know. Yeah, 10 fishing ships probably, and then 28 on wood. So, yeah, so it's literally his whole economy. Now, the wall on the left, I want to point out, that's a great wall. Now, the reason he's walling this is not because he's scared of getting attacked, not because of the fishing, it's because of the pilgrims. So, this is a max distance pilgrim, which means he's going to be getting 130 gold. It is also very close to your opponent's base, so you're kind of choking them in on their side of the map at the same time. So that's a very, very good value wall. Very cheap, especially because you're a KT. And we do see a little cheeky age up coming in.
Yeah, reinforcement behind this. Meanwhile, we see Louis still getting Sanctuary, so investing more into this pilgrim play. Reinforcement going to give you a lot of those Desert Raiders, but I mean, at this point, just more mass, does that feel like the answer for Anotand? Or did you think maybe he needed some economic growth? I mean, maybe he's been buying a couple Vil packs behind the scenes, because he's still up quite a few Vils, but I mean, with no Vil kills on the board, you just kind of expect that still a little bit, right?
Yeah, so I think he got 2 more swordsmen, by the way, so he got another unit. Kind of wild. He got double food and, I'm assuming, one of the resources, but he will be aging up right now, and Louis is looking pretty good. He is age up behind, right? So he needs to kind of fix that. But he's playing against Ayubid, which it's going to take a while to age up. He still has time. He doesn't need to rush. And the double Pilgrim income is actually very, very, very strong. So he's going to have that secured, and he's going to be super, super happy with that. Mon doing a little bit of a raid. I am not sure if he saw that age up wing coming in, because House of Wisdom is kind of there on the corner. But yeah, Anotand is just waiting for the age up, and we see the stable transition, so he will be going into Camel Lancer's Mass Desert Raider, and Louis needs to respond to this with anything but cavalry.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll see, right? Yeah, Camel Lancer is going to be probably one of the scariest things he can do right now, right? So I'm not sure he'll have the free Desert Raiders to help support that. I guess he doesn't even need to train those, so his stables can just work fully on the Camel Lancers, and maybe supported by the random Bedouins, right?
Yeah, kind of like budget archers, I guess. You're getting some free units. Now, he could have gone Eco Wing, but he probably wants to put pressure right now. Maybe he's not feeling like, okay, this game didn't go well. I was supposed to do more damage. And instead of going Eco Wing and kind of becoming more greedy, I guess, he wants to commit to military wing so he can get some Desert Raiders out and just put a lot of pressure on his opponent. So we'll see what his plan is. Right now we see 2 Desert Raiders in production.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. Maybe we'll see Camel Lancers now.
Okay, there we go.
And Louis on his way up to Castle Age. I'm really curious what he queued up. It's clearly behind a Vil. Genoa, okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard one, I feel like. Yeah, you just get a lot more gold. And I would say, looking at this game right now, we don't have any player that has a massive advantage. But going from here on out, I think KT is going to have better economy. And Louis is definitely the type of player who's like, you know what, if I throw a fortress on that left sacred site and the game goes on, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll play that. And Anotand, he's probably the more aggressive one, where he's like, okay, I need to make something happen, especially because he's making full cavalry kind of army. So he will try to go out on the map, secure the relics, and we'll see if he actually contests the water, because he could go for Rams or even Manjaniks.
Yeah, or the Tower of the Sultan.
Also true. Those do exist.
It's a big chunky boy, and when there's 4 of them, it's pretty hard.
It probably kills ships, right? Like pretty well.
With the arrows, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, the ships tickle it back. So yeah, it's just a really weird fight. I've seen it.
It's like the annoying thing you can make. And just leave it there too.
You just leave it there, and it's just a long resolution period before that's done. And we see sort of the Rainbow Army approach again from Louis. So we got Templar Brothers coming in, some Genoese crossbows coming in. Sort of a little mixed bag.
What's interesting is Louis still is going for Templar Brothers. This is something I've noticed in his KT games. He loves the Templar Brother and the Genoese crossbowman combo. Right. I'm a bit surprised he's doing it here because well, Templar Brothers get countered by the camels because of the debuff, but also Genoese crossbowmen, they counter infantry right? Yeah. So they do have a high base
by these Bedouins. He's like, get him out of here.
He's like, oh my god, he got more Bedouin skirmish.
Yeah, right. And you doubted the Genoese.
Knows what's
I think the Genoese are going to get wrecked by the Bedouin skirms, right? Oh, no. No, they wouldn't.
I'm not actually sure.
No, I've
This is one
literally
interaction I've
never
not seen.
fought that unit against that unit.
Yeah. So
That'd be a first for me to see.
see that gold here secured. I'm trying to look. Anotand's golds are actually pretty far out. Can we check his next gold after this one? Okay, he's already double tapping on those. Okay. And then he goes all the way there. Okay, cool. So he's securing both. He wants to make sure that instead of all-inning on one, he's getting a little bit of both, so the gold income keeps going. And if we look right now, he's making some Pringles right there. He's making some ships right now because Louis is docking the right punt.
Yeah.
Louis being a little cheeky, you know, in the middle of it. Sometimes people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Anotand luckily did see it, immediately made ships. Sometimes people don't pay attention, and there's a archer ship and a Springle ship. You're like, oh god, my whole economy is dead.
Oh, we have the ships supporting this as the Springolds trying to take the engagement. There are just a few spearmen in the front, but I mean the front line for Louis is just going to get eviscerated here, but he's got the archers in the back trying to deal damage. Will Anotand's army push forward here, or will he have to retreat from this archer mess?
Yeah, and Louis keeps committing into this. The archers are almost left alone. Some Templar brothers coming in. Springles were actually made to kill the ships, by the way. They still do bonus damage against ships. But Anotand looks like he is pushing this back. The military count is still in favor of Louis. I'm not sure what the situation is on the right pawn right now, if it's stabilized or not, but both players just fighting right now. Louis is going to be doing a lot of kiting. Camel Lancers are almost out here. There's 3 remaining, and the Desert Raiders are getting picked off by the archers.
Yeah, and I have to imagine that Louis is okay with this trade. I think his read on this game is correct. I think he knows his economy is better at this point, because I think the Gambit Wing does not scale very well, right? Whereas what Louis has done is set up for scaling, and just the Civ itself, he was able to invest in Pilgrims, and Anotand hasn't even seen a Pilgrim, let alone denied one, right? So, like, things are going very well, I would say, on Louis' side. And yeah, I'm a little curious if Anotand is going to have this transition, if this game stalls out even further, transition into like the mid game, and you know, Louis just going to be sitting on the berries. I doubt he's going to take any of these berries. I mean, maybe he will move a few villas later, but like, what is Anotand going to do when he runs out of food here? Like,
yeah, what's interesting is, so food income for Anotand just plummets, by the way. He's losing the right pond. If we look at the minimap, there was a demo ship hitting a lot of the fishing ships, which we saw in the little camera in the bottom left corner. So his fishing economy is looking like a disaster right now. And finally, Louis is feeling confident to go for Genoese crossbowmen. He has 12 right now, no more archers, so his army is going to be pure gold army. And once again, those Genoese crossbowmen have very high base damage, so even though they're not supposed to counter cavalry, they still do a lot of damage per hit. And like I said, Louis is very, very comfortable with that. But we see 420, 430 food per minute for Anotand right now.
Yeah, that's pretty low and abysmal, and it makes it really hard to do anything. He's made 3 Springolds here. I mean, I'm not really sure what that's going to accomplish. Relic's starting to come in on the back of this for Louis, which means Sacred Site captures shortly behind, and things are going to start looking good. I could even see Louis moving some bills to stone soon, right? And just starting to really slow down the game pace, maybe? Or do you think he's just going to all gas here?
The moment he feels, okay, I've done something here, he will transition to stone in order to extend his lead.
Yeah.
So perhaps, oh my god, that is going to be
huge.
Massive.
The splits from Louis, will he get it? He does. Oh, Hospitaller fishing boats.
Right.
Demos are a lot worse against it.
Okay. I feel like if he gets these docks down, because he did a lot more fishing economy damage on the other side, maybe if he gets these docks down, he'll be like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good now. I have fishing, he doesn't, so I can transition. This is a fight I don't really think Anotand wants to take. We see in the army value,
army
better.
Caught on the right click, what? Oh, I guess he was just trying to reposition his range units, but it seemed like they were just kind of waddling through the Springolds. But the Templar brothers now going to be enough of a front line. The powerhouse Genoese crossbowmen able to deal that damage. They're going to be able to one-shot these Springolds in the back. The Templar brothers charging forward. Anotand shaking his head. What just happened there? It seemed like the Gambit Wing just wasn't enough for him, was it, Beasty?
Yeah, it started off great, like with everything that he has gotten, which is kind of funny because KT is good against Hybrid, but the fact that he got all the units from the Gambit Wing that he got, and we still ended a game like this is very, very impressive by Louis, of course, because that first fight that he took, I feel like it was like 6 units against like 9 with the initial between skirmishers.
It was 4 horsemen and like 3 archers.
Yeah, it was clear he was going to lose it, but it was very, very good trade.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think like the archers were living with like a sliver of health. So I think the skirmishers just didn't have enough numbers to one-shot. And I think that might have like led to some weird micro issues because maybe Anotand was thinking he had enough to one-shot.
Yeah.
And like that put them in a really weird position. And then they ended up getting like 3-shot from the horsemen.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, whoa, that does a lot of damage.
Yeah, because if you remember the idling around the wood line, like that's a lot of economic damage because it's like all his villagers just going left, right, chopping the new trees, not really getting any wood, and then just moving to the other side. So, yeah, Louis pulling it back, and once again, I mean, his KT is best, if not one of the best from anyone. This is why he's picking it, right? He first picked it, so gets him the win. But like I said, this is one of those things where Louis is like, okay, this is my first main pick, right? I'm gonna pick this map. I won. Okay, we're kind of back into it. We're stabilizing. If he lost this game, I think mentally it would just be very hard to recover. So, Anotand, on the other hand, I don't think he should be like too upset at this loss because he probably knows, the matchup's not too great for me. Tried my best, almost kind of got him, right? It was very, very close until the very end, and I feel like the demo that came out on the right pond, killing like 10 fishing ships, was pretty big.
Yeah, that was close indeed. And I'm honestly wondering about the prep there because what would make Louis like laugh in that moment? Because this is a tournament setting. He saw it and he laughed. Do you think he knew that this was a chance, and maybe he and his teammates were practicing, thinking about it, and he said, he won't do that. And then maybe one of his teammates was like, no, he's going to do this.
I think the first time he laughed is when
he scouted.
Right. No. When I think it was when the
units came out.
The units came out. He was like, oh, okay. He got 2 swordsmen and 2 skirmishers. The second time was like a laugh and like, oh, come on, when 6 units came out, because he was like, really? Is that really what's happening right now? So obviously he wasn't, very happy with that. You're kind of the same way Anotand is kind of like praying, like, please give me the units. Louis on the other side is like,
if it's resources, like, what does it really achieve, right?
Yeah. It is 1-1 right now. The next matchup and map is Mountain Clearing, and it is going to be Malian versus the Holy Roman Empire. And Louis has been playing a lot of Malian in this map.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? It's like pretty easy to get your pit mines rolling, and we've seen some interesting plays with the central boar coming into question here. Do you think we're going to see HRE moving out to the middle of the map here? And do you think Malians have any like quirky, fun, cute ways to deal any damage, or do you think this is just like Malian does their thing and HRE actually gets the boar in this game?
So the problem with Malian is like other civs make a barracks, chop a little wood, make 2 spearmen. Malian has to do that, but you're also not building the pit mine and you're not building the houses, so you're shooting the opponent in the leg, but you're also shooting yourself in the leg too.
Yeah.
So are you really getting ahead? Because you're supposed to have a lot better economy. So the boar, I can already hear it. It's happening. And there it is. Anotand will be picking up that boar immediately, healing up that scout just in case. And we see Louis right now probably going to go for the full house surround right there.
Is that pit mine like a little tough, actually? You'll get not everything you want.
Bottom side, I think 1 house is blocked.
Maybe 2. I think 2 houses are blocked. I think that tree's blocking the next house. I think you can fit 1 house there where the mouse is, and then so that's.
You think that top tree is blocking 2? I have no idea.
It might be. I don't know. We'll have to see in game. I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world here. You can obviously start chopping there and clear that up pretty quickly.
We're about to find out. Anotand got that boar, so he's gonna be pretty happy about that. Prelate is already inspiring all those guys. Come on, eat it quicker before the units arrive. Otherwise, we're gonna be doomed. So he's gonna make sure to get that, which opens up for a lot of possibilities with HRE. You can go for even something crazy like Burger, although in this matchup not as good. But most likely super fast Cathedral, and then you can just vacuum those relics and extend your lead quite a bit. So yeah, Louis is going for a bunch of houses right now. Everything is looking pretty standard. Even though we did nerf deer pushing, the deer are so close to your TC here that it is not, even with the delay, you can still do it and get that value and food safe under your TC.
Yeah, it's real nice for the players here. I mean, with close tier, what can you do, right? I think that's totally fine. We have a really nice push from Louis, honestly. Like it's pretty crisp. Like these are close and fast, and that's gonna feel good later on as Malians, because it's just gonna mean that your cattle boom can be a little less crazy if you're even gonna do it on this map. You said that you've seen Louis playing a lot of Malians on mountain clearing. Do you have any insight into like what exactly he's playing into?
So in this matchup, I'm actually not sure, but I think I've seen him. It was a series against Puppy Paw. He went Malian versus Ayubit, and he just kind of went for super fast push and then cow boom behind it. Now, I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to be his plan against HRE, because HRE could basically get to castle as you're making units. So he might be changing something there. We will see. Obviously, Louis probably expected the board, didn't really, stress too much about it. And he's going to be aging up with 6, so which is actually quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I normally do 4, but I don't know.
Yeah, 6 is, sometimes some civs do 5, 4 is normal. 3 is kind of when you're chilling a little bit. 6 is kind of like, I want to get this ASAP because I am going something with it. So this might be like, I want the second pit mine as fast as possible. This might be, I want the stable or arch range as fast as possible in order to get something. Because if he was just going cow boom, aging up that quickly you can just make cows in Dark Age, right? As you're aging up. So we will see what the plan is there.
Yeah, and I remember, I think Maito did the math once on Montequery itself to be like, how quickly do you rush it? Because it does give you just gold the moment you finish it.
Right.
So it's like getting villagers. And so I think he did the math, and 6 is actually still pretty good. It's like, it's not actually that bad to do. Like economically, you're ahead if you build it faster, right? There's obviously a limit because diminishing returns on the build speed, but it's an interesting note that some landmarks, like, we see it with the chapel as well. Players just want to build it because then all their ecos.
Right. Then you get all the ecos.
It's like the same concept there. And you can see, Louis is just chopping these trees because he needs to clear off some space. The rehouses were blocked.
Yeah, and we see a lot of villagers on deer, so he clearly wants a lot of food. And yeah, there's a speed building with 4 villagers on the arch range, so this will most likely, I would assume this will be javelin throwers, and he's just going to go around the chapel, go around the board. They have more range than the archers, so he's probably just going to bully Anotand a little bit. Now the problem is, Anotand clearly going castle, right? There's no doubt about that. He's doing some walls right here to make him safer. The question is, what is Louis going to do? Because Anotand has picked his poison already. Now, does Louis cow boom? Is he going to also rush castle with Malian, which I'm not sure what you get by doing that. So he kind of needs to respond to this fast castle right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting play, an interesting situation for Louis. I feel like what Anotand's bringing to the table is just so speedy, right? And it's so, like, concise. Whereas I think, like, Louis building this javelin thrower and adding another one in, it's like he clearly has some expectation to get value out of this, but I'm not seeing a ton of value being immediately available right now. Like, maybe there's something, like, sneaking around the back here, but he's kind of showing Anotand that this is open, and Anotand will now like go find this.
It's funny because he was probably checking, is this open? And Anotand's like, wait, is that open?
Yeah, they're both just like, wait a minute, I think this is open.
Yeah, so the javelin throwers are coming.
Yeah, that's some damage in actually.
Yeah, that villager is going to run away. The castle is definitely coming in this game. The question is, again, what is Louis doing behind this? We see no cows right now. We see big pit mine getting a lot of houses on it. And we see barracks as well. So maybe Louis' plan is going to be, again, like against that Ayubid from Puppy Paw, to just make a lot of units and maybe try to starve out Anotand, wait for him to run out of food. Because let's not forget, Anotand does not have 3 or 4 deer pushed under his TC. And Louis has killed those outside of it. So that is over 1,000 food. 1,000 food. Oh,
we're getting something spicy, and it seems Louis may have had a read on this because he's already building the Musofati.
Okay, so this is what's interesting and cool about AA4. So Anotand has been with the scout back in his own base. He is most likely assuming this is cow boom, but Louis is actually making Musafatis. So Anotand is in a way countering himself right now.
Yeah.
and I am not sure if he's going to have enough food to sustain. So as long as Louis now just makes cows, eats cows, and makes Musafaris, Anotand is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, just remember, he does have all the deer still under his TC. He didn't take those yet because they weren't under Aachen. He prioritized the sheep first. So he does have some food to work with. He might have to train a prelate and bring it over. And that might actually be what he's doing, is to get food there. Well, maybe this is probably for the relic, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe training more prelates. Maybe going to have a bit of a resource issue here on Anotand's side, because Burgrave, there's kind of a hidden cost to Burgrave, I found. And it's if you're not trading your units right away, you need like a lot of houses.
Yeah,
you need a good chunk of vills on wood.
You need a lot of eco in general to just support it, and
yeah,
the income you need is crazy, right?
And we see, you also think of the upgrades, right? Like these are just going to be early man-at-arms, so they're not even going to be Castle Age versions yet. And I think you're totally right. I think there's torches showing here, so Louis just wanted to break in and deal damage, and he's going to get in, but running into this outpost means not much value here, right? Unless he just dives? No way.
Yeah, I think if I'm Louis, I just take it slow here. Like, he sees the situation of food, right? Like, that's a lot of villagers in one spot. You probably know, like, he cannot have food forever here. Like, he will run out of food, and when he does, what is he going to do then? Now, another thing is, if they both gather resources, Louis will not only produce more Musafaris, but with the numbers he's going to have, he should be able to kill the men-at-arms. Now, these workers here are, if Anotand doesn't evacuate, they're stuck. So that might be a -5 angle right there in the middle.
Yeah, and there's also there is a relic there, though, so there could be some crazy shenanigans. But I doubt anything crazy.
That probably is gone.
Yeah, okay.
So that is going to be -5 villagers, forces Anotand to actually engage, and that is a lot of men-at-arms coming in.
It's a lot of men-at-arms with the Musafati going to run to the front. The Javelins not really doing anything valuably here. The outpost notably did not go down and does have a relic in it for buffing up those garrison arrows. The men-at-arms going to be enough to tank that Musafati bonus damage for the time being. The Javelin throwers forced to retreat. Now the Musafati mass from Louis is still being built on the back end of this, but as we talked about, can Anotand keep up the pressure here? Can he continue this mass? I think he'll be able to for quite some time, and Louis maybe needed to win this first fight to stop a snowball.
Yeah, so what happened there is Anotand did a good job target firing the Musafatis with the tower. So the Javelins, like you said, kind of dead unit. They're not really doing anything. They couldn't pick off villagers because they were all in tower, and they were not doing a lot of damage to the men-at-arms. Now, we see before this fight, Anotand had 10 men-at-arms. He has 11 now. So the unit production is slowing down. On the other side, you can see Louis is already back up with those Musafatis. Now, we'll see if he's going to be able to take a good engagement. 60 Musafatis right now. And if you look at the production, there's no man-at-arm. It's a lot of food, and it's a lot of no income that he just does not have right now. Those deer, after that, he's going to be going on those berries and the outside deer. So unless he wants to transition to farms, of course, but that will slow down like all the unit production that he is going to have.
Yeah, there's no way this is going the way Anotand wants it to, right? Basically, he's using these to defend. When you do this build with Burgrave, you basically need to be like under their TC for this to really pan out, because the sacrifice here is you have no farm transition on the Aachen. So even your feudal landmark is going to stop giving you value pretty soon. I mean, sure, he's got the gold income from it and a couple vills on wood, but like the fact that it's not buffing his food income means that his transition here to mid-Castle Age, as you said, is going to be just kind of devastatingly weak.
I mean, if we look at if we look at the income right now, Anotand is already behind, and he has a relic, right? Now we will see. The only question is, can Anotand get a really good engagement to mow down this army, and can he keep up the unit production going forward?
This isn't going to be a winning engagement. The Musafati are getting ace around, even on the left side. The man-at-arms forced to retreat. Cattle being produced behind this. More Musafati on the way. 5 in queue, 25 on the field. Anotand on the back foot. There are a couple prelates trying to juggle some relics, potentially looking to zone out these units, but now with the men-at-arms forced back, the Musafati can come once again, take out the central outpost, take out the mill, and just clear the vision for Anotand. And now he's going to be playing just with the scout to take engagements, and this is when Musafatis can do a lot of crazy things. And once again, these feudal Musafatis just running down Anotand. Keep in mind, Anotand, no blacksmith, no upgrades there. Louis going to be almost full blacksmith, full eco upgrades coming into, missing the gold, but is that the most important thing for Malians in this moment? And I think Anotand could be in a bit of trouble here. This might be a last hurrah fight. He's got nothing in the tank.
Yeah, and we see one very important thing. He saw Lenskene coming out, and we see 5, 6 archers. He doesn't need a lot. He needs maybe 10 archers to one-tap those, and they're very, very expensive. Obviously very good into Musafati, but if there's 10 archers picking them off, that's not going to work. And Anotand right now, pretty sure 0 food income, right? Nothing under the chapel. He either needs to go farms or he needs to find a way to secure this. And making Lens Connect is actually pretty decent if you don't have a lot of food, since they are cheap on that. But the archer transition already being in, and we see Louis is eating cows in the back as well as on berries. Oh, he actually kind of little bit of a cow boom.
Yeah,
he's 2 right there.
He started it. He's got 4 cows now. I think he's trying to make sure he doesn't die to this all-in from Anotand, and I think he's doing that perfectly. Like, he's gonna have plenty of units. Soon he can dive. He might just want to wait out these berries. I think he scouted this, that he knows Anotand is on these forward deer. He knows Anotand is on these forward berries with a lot of his economy, a noticeable amount of his economy. And if Anotand just keeps taking these rough trades against Musafati, the game is going to be over relatively quick here. And Louis knows that. He knows that. He's eating his cows. He's not really worried about the future right now.
Yep.
He just knows, if I hold the next 2 or 3 minutes, this game is mine.
Yeah, Louis can sit in his base for the next 15 minutes and not need to move out at all and just eat cows, while Anotand has about a minute of gathering time left, and then he is completely out of food. So he's going to be engaging. Finally, the villagers are all idle, and now Louis, just go back. Don't go under the TC, just go back. Wait for the villagers to come back, and when they do, just go in again.
Yeah, and there is a bit of micro burden here on Louis. He has to pay attention, right? Like you said, the Landsknecht can just absolutely demolish a big group of Musafati, but I mean, it's Louis right now. He seems so sharp and crisp. He's got these archers on lock. There are 4 Landsknecht here, which is actually quite a big number to deal with only 9 archers. You have to really make sure you don't throw your Musafati too quickly. He did take a bit of damage there in that fight, but just look at the army numbers. Look at the income. Look at the economic growth here.
Yeah, now what he's doing, which is really funny because Anotand has full melee comp, he can actually kind of pull him out of the base with archers, because it's like, okay, well, I'll either kill your villagers or you come out to fight. Oh, you come out to fight, then I just kill your units. So he's just going to keep forcing this, keep forcing Anotand to move out. And Anotand kind of has to if he wants to keep gathering, but because he's gathering, he's just losing units. So we're kind of going in circles here, him just bleeding out. And we do see the age up is also coming at the same time. So the game is not going well for Anotand right now.
I gotta ask, as this game is looking really rough for Anotand, hasn't Louis once yet clicked the invisibility? I feel like it would just be cool. It'd be style points. It's fun.
Right. I don't know. That's something we have to ask
if he just pressed it right now, this whole shift here is completely... You don't see it happen.
Right. Style points.
Style points lost. Anotand has the style points.
Mission passed. Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is what it is. Maybe he's saving it. He wants to for the right moment.
Yeah, for the right moment? Okay, okay.
He's waiting for Anotand to move out so he can just sandwich him. And yeah, right now we see Louis is enjoying, and Anotand probably not happy with that age up. Like, just, seeing that age up when you're in the middle of the game and you're losing, you're just like, oh, this is not good.
You can see it. He kind of gave a little head shake there on that player camera, and it's sort of the beauty of the LAN is that you get to see these player reactions live to the game unfolding, and it adds that layer of drama. It adds that layer of just personality to these players that you just don't get in an offline event. Or an online event, you know what I mean, sorry.
Yeah. And we see Mansa Musafati, and this is something we do not see almost ever.
I love Farimba.
Yeah, we usually see Mansa Javelineers, but obviously this game is not appropriate for it, is one way to put it, right? There's no javelins on the field, so he just upgraded his whole army and made it so much better. And guys, don't look at Anatand's food right now. That's not a lot.
Honestly, one of the benefits here from Louis has been eating those cows. So he's been training cows to eat them with the villagers, not instead of garrisoning, and I think that's given him a big edge here. But as these raids finally come in, and when you build a Burgrave, you want to do this 2 minutes after the Burgrave is built, even earlier, right?
Yeah, but
it's
because Louis was pre-making Musafatis, it just did not
big brain.
work out. Yep.
Could you just say big brain, or do you think that was prep? You think he knew that this was an
I
option?
think his plan on this map is probably like, I'm going to make units no matter what civ I face.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense. Like, okay, if my opponent is rushing castle and I'm mulling, it's not going to go
Barracks
knights
anyway, right?
or horsemen, right? It makes sense to go like either archers or men-at-arms. So you just went javelin, Musafati, because that pretty much covers.
And you'd have the barracks in case you needed to switch into Danzo later.
Yeah. I mean, if by some miracle the opponent's like, yeah, I'm going to make mass knights. I mean, yeah, you're like, okay, I'll just make Donzos. So
Well, you see that sometimes when players go Regnits, they open knights to...
I think this map is, like, especially in this kind of situation when you're defending, maybe a little bit too small of a map. You don't get enough value, but yeah, when you're trying to do something and your opponent is making a counter for that a minute ago, it's not usually a good sign. For
You know, we talked about how Anotand's food economy was stalling out, but to be fair, he did manage to get a decent farm transition behind this. Maybe with the use of that market there. Not exactly sure what his plan is going to be at this point. He has built up to 7 archers. Not going to be enough for this many Mansa Musafati as they dive in. The economy for Anotand on the ropes. The final military units going down. We see the villager pull from all sorts of areas. The relics are coming in. The sacred site is captured. Musafati from the left. Musafati from the right. They're coming in 1-2 punch. The villagers on the run now, getting cut off. What could even happen here for Anotand that is positive? I'm not sure. Beasty, do you see anything Anotand can do to save this game?
He just needs to get the prelate out, wall the whole army, counterattack, and win with it. That's it. That's all he can do. Because other than that, this is looking pretty rough. 20 idle villagers. He even has 2 relics, right? This is not even Regnits. He does have a Springle Tower, but I think if you're Louis, you just go, okay, let's just rotate and do that again. But Anotand has had enough. Yeah, he's gonna tap out.
You can see that. That was a nod, a little bit of a smile. He's like, all right, it didn't
like,
work. He's like, fair play. Fair play.
Anotand's like, come on, man, Burger Rush? Why do you have Musafati?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go Cathedral, and then you're supposed to Cowboom, and I'm supposed to get relics, and then you made Musafati. What's up with that?
Wait.
Louis like, probably like, ha ha, Burger.
Yeah, Louis, he's pretty happy after that one. Got to be feeling confident. You know, the last 2 series for him have been dicey at times, and here maybe feeling a little more confident against Anotand in this set, already being up 2-1.
Yeah, so this game, again, from a player perspective, right, this game for your mental state is very good. You see, like, look at both of their faces, right? Louis is laughing, he's smiling, he's like, he, he's like, okay, what do I play next? Anotand is thinking, if I lose the next game, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
That's it.
There's no more, oh, I could have picked this, or next time there's no next time. It's over, right?
There's no next time.
So now the pressure really starts, and this happens a lot at the LAN, because when you play online tournaments, you're like, well, next week in a tournament I'll play something else, right? Like, I shouldn't have picked that. But this is like, if there's so now if we look at the draft, if there's like a potentially really good matchup or potentially really bad, you're like, do I risk it? Do I not? And then if you don't risk it, and you're like, oh my God, I knew he's going to pick that, I should have picked this, you kind of get into your own head a little bit.
Yeah, you overthink it, and you know, Louis seems to have the number of Anotand's strategies so far after that first game, right? Things have really started to look up for him. And honestly, can we just say maybe that was just a roost situation?
The roost gap.
Yeah, the roost gap. Indeed.
Dragging everybody down.
Yeah, it's just you know, it's the third player.
Okay, guys, if you're sitting at home and you're playing Age of Empires 4, if you're a Rus main, it's not your fault. You're perfect.
Yeah, you're perfect.
If Rus was actually a good civ, you would be Conquer 3 in no time. But you are just dragged down. That's why you're stuck in gold or platinum or wherever you're stuck, really. And just it's Rus's fault. And if you played some of these other civs, we might see you at this LAN right now.
Yeah, it could be you. It could be you.
It could have been you, yeah, right.
It could have been you.
It could have been, Dent 360 no scope instead of Louis or Anotand right here. But what's funny is Louis' APM is like 220, and then on the smallest map, it's 322. So he really cranks it up from mounting.
Cranks it up. Just for that, you really got to, manage. Well, to be fair, managing the cattle as a resource that you're trying to harvest with Vills, it is pretty click intensive. It's like you have to keep checking the
constantly
food.
do it,
You have to keep checking it. You want to make sure they're in the right spot before the vills go to it, because sometimes if they're waiting for a cow and you train a cow, suddenly they're just going to run, meet the cow midway, and then you suddenly have a really terrible spot. It's like that dancing on the beach. They just run to each other, and then the cow's down in the middle of the nowhere.
Couple of times when I played, I was kind of out of sheep, and I was eating a little bit of cows, and I was cow booming,
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is, as I was about to age up, a cow is trying to enter a ranch, and my villagers go, boop, and they block my age up, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's happened to me too.
Yeah. So they block your age up. You're like, okay, I just got to get rid of this 500 food cow that's blocking my landmark, which is very, very rough. Now, next map is going to be regions. Ottomans versus Japanese, but let's look at the rest of the draft. The last map potentially is going to be Dry Arabia, and we have French Mongol, and we have Lancaster and Abbasid. That is 100% going to be Lancaster.
And French?
Unless
maybe Mongol.
So it's going to be Lancaster versus either French or Mongol in Dry Arabia.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that in the future Louis picks Mongol and goes trade, but if you get a bad trade, is that something you want to do? On the other hand, French versus House of Lancaster, Louis likes that matchup.
Why?
He will actually go trade in that matchup, and he actively searches for that matchup. So
you think he's hunting that right now? He's like, pick it.
Yeah, so I think this was one of those. It's like regions. Okay, do I pick French? Do I pick Ottoman? And I think Louis definitely got what he wanted. And this is, again, the mental part. He's like, okay, I got Ottoman or Japanese. If I lose, the last matchup I got is the matchup I actually like playing. And I guarantee you that Louis has way more practice in that matchup than Anotand does.
Yeah, but I mean, this is Japan. This is Anotand's first pick. We talked about
he's
KT.
very good with it.
We talked about KT for Louis, and we said this is his pick. This is his shoe and win. This is what he wants to take a game with and just have a confident, easy game. And he got that. But you have to respect Anotand's first pick as well. This is Japan. This is on a map where Japan can be pretty good, right? We've seen some success. I wouldn't say this is their best map, but it's certainly one where they've seen some success.
Japanese is probably the biggest surprise for me at least this tournament. Yeah, it's been played on land maps almost exclusively. Actually, I'm not sure if anyone played it on hybrid maps. But at the same time, like you said, Anotand is very good with it.
Yeah.
So on the other hand, you have Louis playing Ottoman. Now, if this was any other player, I would say, yeah. So anyway, Game 5, let's talk about Game 5. Ignore Game 4. This is going to be done very soon. Louis plays Ottoman a lot. Like a lot. And even though it's very far in the draft for him, nobody plays Ottoman except very few players. So this isn't one of those, it's his 5th Civ, he's just doing a throwaway or something like that. He can play Ottoman really, really well. So we potentially have both civs being like comfort picks for the players. Obviously, probably everyone agrees from the players here that Japanese is stronger, but I generally have not seen this matchup too many times or played it too many times. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
That was actually about to be my question. With so many maps and now so many matchups in this game, is there a chance here in your eyes that maybe Anotand hasn't played Japan versus Ottoman on regions?
The thing is, on regions specifically...
Yeah, exactly.
Like maybe if they played ladder and it's like Dry Arabia or something, but neither of these civs you go, okay, Ottoman on regions or Japanese on regions. This is what happens in tournaments. You have to adjust your draft as you go, and this is what they both ended up going. Obviously, Anotand wants to make sure he gets to Game 5. Right? He doesn't want to be like, you know what, I'll just risk with Abbasid or Lancaster. So he's like, okay, I need to win this. Let me pick my best civ. And let's just figure out Game 5 when we get to it. But again, Louis has more space to be like, yeah, I'll pick Ottoman here, and then I'll have French for the last one in a matchup that I potentially like. So again, I think this worked out for Louis. Anotand needs to get this game to game number 5. And let's see what the players are about to do.
Yeah, and so we're on regions. As we get from this swoopy cam, regions has this central kind of very notable gold and stone in the center of the map. Then there's a lot of deer on one side of the map and a lot of berries on the other side of the map in these kind of opposite corners. And this has been kind of a hallmark map where there's a lot of different situations that can sort of arise from this game, right? If you have prof scouts, for example, there are less total deer, but there's more contested deer. So that's one element of it. I don't think we're necessarily going to see a lot of professional scouts here with this matchup in particular. On the other side of it, Japan is a Civ that can use berries, especially in the mid to late game, and that could be when you run out of food. If Anotand is able to get to that right side of the map, he would potentially have access to a ton of food, and he's able to just slurp up those berries once you get your 3 unique eco upgrades from the farmhouse. Then you also have to talk about the gold in the middle. Once you run out of gold in your base, you have to be in the middle, and this generally is just a hard endpoint to matches here. And this is where I'm curious about your thoughts on timings. Once players are running out of gold in their base, like, who's hitting a timing better in this matchup?
So the interesting thing is none of these civs are heavily dependent in, I would say, late castle imperial necessarily on gold. Right. Obviously, military schools, Japanese has your Ishiros will usually take the relics first. But one interesting thing, Japanese cannot build keeps, right, in castle. So it's going to be a lot harder for Japanese to hold the middle. So Anotand needs to hold the middle with units, whereas Louis can hold the middle with keeps and siege. So it's going to be completely different kind of unit comp that they're going to be playing with. And what's interesting is we see Anotand opening with barracks, only 2 spearmen, but Louis opened with military school. So these 2 spearmen, I actually don't think they're going to accomplish much, if anything, because in a second, Louis will have the 2nd spearman, and once that comes out, it's an even battle. So a bit surprised that Anotand did decide to open spearmen and only committing to 2. Because if you made like 4, let's say, then, you know, Louis will not be able to get gold anytime soon. But in a little bit, we see that 2nd spearman coming out. We'll be able to push that back. And he did get him off the gold, right? But I don't think Ottoman is necessarily like, oh, I need gold right now. You know, he can just go back. He doesn't mind.
And he could even maybe wait for the 3rd spearman here, right? Or just build a range and prep for, you know, mid-feudal, right? But something that's really interesting here is, I mean, Louis had even pre-mined enough gold. Like, this was really well done, I think, by Louis to just like take 0 damage. Like, he knew that this was an option. He knew that this would be what Anotand would do. And I think we saw Anotand do this in a lot of his games with Japan so far. Is kind of almost regardless of matchup. I want to say at this point, he's just like, I'm gonna make 2 spearmen because I can. And it's
very cheap.
It's pressure. It's just something you can do. We see some players opt out of this just in favor of a faster age up, in favor of a slightly better economy, early feudal. But here, I mean, Anotand just going for it. I mean, what does he get? A mining camp? Like, is this worth it? Maybe?
Now, one interesting thing, and this is why knowing these kinds of like a bit of weird matchups is very important, and it's so hard to know who has more experience in this. Japanese loves mounted samurai.
Yep.
Ottoman can make janissaries.
Yep.
So your biggest strength in early to mid castle, which is mounted samurais, gets countered very, very easily. But on the other hand, what do you go for? If you go for melee units, Louis can actually go for mass Sipahi and then Springles. So I feel like comp-wise, Ottoman has it a lot better, but tempo-wise, Japanese has it a lot better. So it's going to be on Anotand to put pressure. This is not the matchup where he can sit back and be like, yeah, I'll win in castle, right? He has to do something. On the other side, the way Louis plays Ottoman, he loves raiding, and he loves just letting the military schools do all the work. He'll be raiding, he'll be attacking across the map. Meanwhile, back at his base, there's spearmen, there's archers, there's crossbows, janissaries, siege, waiting. So I'm kind of expecting that kind of a game, that kind of tempo to come out from both of these guys, and we see Anotand committing a lot to feudal upgrades, which leads me to believe he plans to stay in feudal age.
Yeah, we're about to get that first vizier point from Louis. Curious to see what he might pick. Maybe Imam's here. I'm not quite sure what his best choice is. I think we've seen some players go for sheep. We've seen all sorts of stuff here. Maybe the Metter?
Yeah, so it depends what his plan is. So if his plan is, I'll make a couple of units to military schools and age up, that's going to be Imam, because it allows you to trade and heal up and then get the relics. If his plan is to not actually fight almost at all, or even stay in feudal for a very long time, then the sheep makes more sense because it's going to kind of buff your economy. So Mechta is usually when you want to do like heavy raiding, and yeah, we do see sheep. So this leads me to believe that this will be Louis committing to actually playing in the feudal age. And I do think that Ottoman probably has a big edge. I mean, you have Yumi and Spearman against Sipahi and Archer. I don't really think that's a good matchup for Japanese.
I mean, you could have just stopped at Sipahi
Yeah, like
And it's just like, that's just a good unit, I think, here.
Yeah.
It's just going to be really solid, offers a lot of potential to raid. Now, Louis hasn't really fully committed to this. I think this is just from the military school, so he hasn't built that kind of like trademark stable. You put the military schools on Spahi, and you have the stable on Spahi, and then you have like 20 Spahi pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to see that just yet with this commitment to archers as an opener, but we'll see more, I think, in the future. And yeah, like, what do you really do as Japan here? I guess Samurai is part of the play.
Yeah, I mean, he's going straight into Samurai. Now, this is one of those where it's like, Samurai sound good. Let me try that. Or he's like, actually, Samurai very good in this matchup. Like, I kind of know a little bit something. So we'll see which one it is. But we did see stable from Louis. He's remaking the scout after he lost one earlier. So military schools are producing Sipahi, and no gold right now for Louis. He has 0 gold mining, 0 upgrades, which is actually very not Louis. He's one of the players that loves to get all the upgrades. He's like, yeah, let me get wheelbarrow, horticulture. We do see a little bit of poking coming in, and those Yumis are very, very fast and able to just kite away.
I think this we see the stables now. Can we check Louis' base? Because he has 3 Spahi in queue. Is this a stable now?
Yep.
Yeah, so here's that stable, and this is where I kind of question the Samurai. Spahi, like, so Samurai have like relatively low damage against Spahi. I feel like they can just hit the button.
He just made 1. It's kind of interesting. He upgraded, made 1, and then he's like, okay, I'm out. That's it.
I mean, maybe he realized it was kind of a dicey move when your opponent already has 10 archers on the field. Like, you're not really getting tempo with this. You're just sort of holding your front line, and maybe you just prefer having horsemen.
Yeah, so I'm still very curious. Now we see some gold mining for Louis, and I wonder if this is going to be like I'm making units to starve you out, because if you look at Anotand's resources, deer in the front, second bear in the front, right? So that is very, very exposed. So I don't know if his plan is to just deny food gathering, or he is just making units being like, let me make sure I don't die. My military schools are working, but we see second archer range from Louis. So he is definitely committing to this.
Oh, wow, that could have been close. I mean, I think Louis was just like a little misclick away there from really just killing a vill while Anotand was maybe caught snoozing a bit.
Now, Yumis are great. They're very cheap. They build very fast. They can kite forever. But Mekter has +1 ranged armor, which makes Yumi a lot worse, or just any archer comps in general. And if you look, okay, back to Samurai. So he is going to be committing to Samurai. He's stopping Spearman, and I am a little bit worried, to say the least, against Masipahi to have no Spearman. But Anotand is the Japanese
Master.
Let's go with that.
Some might say.
He's this Japanese bannerman.
Oh, okay.
Of all the players.
That's thematic.
Right.
That's all heck.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we see big blob of Ottoman army now moving out, and this will potentially might end up being really, really bad for Anotand if he gets caught in the middle. Running away with Yumi, that's one thing. Running away from Sipahi, a lot harder thing to do.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. That extra range just makes them so efficient at chasing. They do less bumping into each other, and they all just sort of hit that same unit and just kill it. And you can see shadowing this army is Louis. He's like, oh, come on, welcome in. He's like, welcome to my diner. You want to eat a piece of this? You know?
Yeah.
He's ready to just throw some
Sometimes
punches.
you're actually running away from your opponent, not because you don't want to fight, it's because you do want to fight. Yeah. You just want them to come out far enough so you can chase them down when they do see your army. So potentially what Louis was trying there, not sure, but Anotand will be pulling back, and both players are very, very, very committed to fuel.
Oh.
We see field work, which I am slightly surprised that he's not going military school. But at this point, if you have field work, and Anotand's archers are shooting all over the place, the samurai are shooting, if you can keep imams alive, they provide you insane value with that AoE healing. Yeah. So the question is, can Anotand snipe them, and can Louis keep them alive at the same time? Because if he can, it's just incredible amount of healing you can do in Feudal Age, which not many civs can do in the first place.
I mean, there are a lot of Yumi on the field, so... But they would have to maybe overextend a bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. They would have to run in Sipahi range in order to do that. So Louis can... this is the moment where you need to put imams on separate hotkey and do like stand ground kind of thing.
Keep them way in the back and don't put them in the formation with you.
Yeah.
That
And
can just
you
mess
can
everything
see,
up,
you can see they're in the back already.
Yeah,
So
you want them later.
They're chilling, and wow, Louis just kind of goes for it. Maybe rethinks it a little bit.
He doesn't have a ton of Spahi here. Only 10. It's a little bit less than I thought he would have before he took an engagement, but he's just going to be going for it. The healing is coming in from the imams, trying to pull the Yuumi forward. The samurai just kind of getting chunked by the Spahi and the archers of this Ottoman force, but the Yuumi force still looking strong, pushing Louis back once again into the middle of the field.
Winston, I have terrible news. Imams died immediately.
Imams both died.
Immediately. So there was, okay. So that's what I was kind of afraid of, where that's why I was surprised, because it's so easy to kill them at this point. If you can keep them alive, they're amazing. We're going to see them re-engage. All the melee units from Anotand are dead. Sipahis are doing work, but that is just what we like to call critical amount of archers, where they're just almost one-shotting these Sipahi right now, and there's no mech there, right? So Anotand's doing a lot of kiting, doing really, really well, and now there is no running away from.
Now there's a samurai chasing, and it all comes together. Anotand's plan is to have this samurai be the one that makes a really big difference.
And the Japanese master, our bannerman over here.
Yeah, it makes sense though when you really think about it, actually, because like the archers, like if he had just had spearmen, they would have died instantly. I think his goal was just to have a front line to keep the Spahi at bay for a minute, to have something that just doesn't immediately die.
Yeah,
they die fast.
His plan is to just
kill
everything with archers.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And we'll be seeing nerf to those archers soon.
Here.
We'll be seeing the nerf coming probably very soon. I mean, that's I can't.
Right after this game, I'm sure.
Right after this game, yeah.
We're doing it now. It's happening already.
Okay, guys, give us a moment. Okay, -1 damage, minus a little bit of extra food cost. Now floating gate is coming in. So Anotand took a great fight.
Do we see stable?
And immediately goes for the age up. So this is the point where the food is running out. So he probably feels I got enough free space to actually age up and potentially go out on the map, snack on those berries, or maybe go on the deer. Meanwhile, Louis, this is the situation where he's in a position where he's like, oh, I have to make units, otherwise I'll die. But by doing that and your opponent aging up, you're not dying right now, but you're dying in a couple of minutes. So
I'm curious where these first Yuri Shiro are going to go too, right? Like, I would say usually you want to put them in a stable. That's the general play. But, I mean, Anotand seems to be vibing with these samurai. He just keeps making Castle Age samurai. Maybe he puts them in, like, a farmhouse just to secure his food income a little bit.
yeah, it's possible for sure.
You don't see a stable is the main thing I'm thining of. Range.
This is going to be for the upgrade, I guess.
Is he going to go own a Musha or something?
The thing is, you can see Anotand's, like, the way his army is moving, right? He doesn't know if his opponent is attacking, right? So he's like, okay, I'm in a good spot. Let me just get that upgrade super quick. Let's not risk it. I don't think it would be a bad choice. Obviously, we have the God view, right? We see everything, but it wouldn't be a bad choice to put it in barracks and just be like, okay, mass samurai now. Because the samurai now are very, very tanky.
Yeah.
So they're going to do an even better job for these archers to tank for them. And those Sipahi go down. Pretty painful. 5 Sipahi versus 42 Castle Yuumi.
Man, this is a Japanese master at work, right? Like, Louis, he looked so solid in the previous 2 games, but now I'm starting to question if he's got a great game plan for this match. I'm wondering, surely he had to know that Japan was going to be picked here. Maybe this is also a matchup where he wasn't as comfortable. We kind of assumed maybe he had a plan.
Yeah.
This plan seems like just play like kind of a normal Ottoman game and hope it works.
Yeah, and it definitely did not. Like, looking at this game, if I'm Louis and if I played this kind of game before, next time I would go like triple stable and I would just mass units like crazy.
Fun fact, veteran samurai was just researched. So we're going to see more samurai.
Yep.
Anotand is committed. No mounted samurai.
I kind of wonder if he went triple stable Sipahi and just massed him like crazy and just try to surround the army.
I actually thought Spahi would be like a full, kind of an all-in Spahi play would have been a pretty good idea.
All right, we see the dive-in coming through at the worst possible time if you're Louis. This is not when you want to get attacked.
Worst case scenario, because these are now veteran Yuumi. They don't have a bannerman with them, so they don't have that glow. They're missing that damage. So they're kind of like a little bit less crazy than they were, and he's diving under a fully garrisoned TC, and the defensive archers getting enough surface area on the opponent's units here, so it's not the worst trade in history for Louis' army. I mean, that wasn't the worst trade. That could have been worse.
Yeah,
But-
he lost to ranged armor, kicked in like in the middle of that, so he already lost a bunch of units to the DC and the archers of the opponent.
And there's the Bannerman going down. The spot, he able to make a return, and I mean, 6 Vil kills total here for Anotand's timing. A lot of idle time, but now Louis gets to work on building up some siege for whatever the follow-up is.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to clean up. Now, the thing about these kinds of games, now this looks good for Anotand, don't get me wrong. He is in a good spot. I mean, he's causing a lot of idle time. If Louis manages to stabilize, he's making cavalry and siege, and Anotand is on archers right now.
Yeah, that's
so while he did
just
damage.
one not counter.
Right, so
Basic math tells me
right.
that that's like really rough.
That's pretty good for Louis, right?
Yeah.
So he also has military schools, and at the same time, you cannot really now move out with archers anymore. You cannot do these little cool tricks because Sipahi are going to mow you down. So now we are going to see the tempo switch to Louis' side, but the question is his economy just way too damaged in order to come back from this one? Because even though you're making Sipahi, you might actually lose to archers.
Yeah, this is why I was really surprised by the choice to put that first Yorishiro in a range. Because I feel like what could have been really good here for Anotand, maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, would just be in a tech switch.
Yeah.
Right? Like your opponent's going MIA now, so you have Mangonel's going to be on the field, you have other things, like, and this is kind of expected from Ottomans to sort of keep playing to their strengths. And I feel like Anotand had other strengths to leverage here, and now we're starting to see these Mounted Samurai come out, but it feels almost like missing the critical window where that could have been even more special.
Like he could have had 10 of them right now, right?
More than 10.
Yeah,
right?
so, but still a very good switch because Louis is like, okay, you're making archers, I need to make Sipahi. And funny thing about Sipahi is if you have enough of them, they kind of kill everything. So if the Mounted Samurai arrive and you have like 10, 15, 20 Sipahi, you can still deal with them. But these archers are just causing so many problems. And that one Mounted Samurai with the archers is going to tank so much. In Anotand, he's smelling blood, he's not letting it go, and he wants that game 5.
Yeah, I was about to say the shark is lurking, so the smelling blood is very accurate here, I think. Like, this army is just rotating around looking for that damage, looking for a way to do anything. And yeah, this is looking a little bit spicy. Anotand trying to find a way into the belly of the beast. Louis looking for a little counterattack, looking for a raid. Anotand has backed off now for a minute, so, you know, Louis feeling a little confident. The Sipahi raids haven't been the worst for him. Catching a couple random units, but reinforcements, like...
If we look at the food count, by the way, for Louis, it is 159 food per minute. That is just very rough. Oh my god, the Mangonel, the hero. He needs to kill all those 28 archers and end the game. Is still pretty bad for Louis. So Louis will be tapping out. Sipahi raid not working out quite as well as he wanted.
And now
Japanese Bannerman, he makes it.
Yeah, I mean, the Japanese master.
Yeah.
He did it. And that was quite impressive, too. I think, you know, going into it, we sort of had an intuition that Japan's been doing very well in this tournament, and there's clearly a reason why. And, I mean, here we see Anotand proving that he has done well with this Civ in the past. He will continue to do well with it. And that was his first pick, right?
Yep.
And he gets a good win with it.
That's why it's his first pick right there. I mean, he just proved it. He's like, you know, listen, I pick Japanese first, I win. That's what matters. And even if you maybe disagree or like, maybe I shouldn't have picked that first. I mean, he gets a win.
A win is a win. And that means the pick was worth it.
Right.
No matter the cost.
Yeah, it worked out in the end. So right now it is 2-2. And yeah, we see Louis is doing some threatening. I don't know what that was. He's like,
I think it was a thumbs up.
No. He's taunting him. Whoa. He's throwing something at him. I don't know what's happening. Whoa. Get the security.
Whoa.
Are they doing rock, paper, scissors?
Are they doing rock, paper, scissors to see who wins?
I would hope not.
All right. A little chuckle from the two frenemies.
I don't know what that was for.
It was cute, though.
Yeah.
It's like a meet cute.
Yeah, I'll
start
give
of a
it
love story.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Not a 9
At
and
first,
a half?
because we didn't see from the screen, I thought he's throwing something at him.
I thought it was
water
like the
bottle or
bird.
something. He's like, I can't believe you made Yumi art.
He knows the camera angles, just throws up the middle finger like Like, how dare you?
Like, I can't believe you made Yumi
You made
Archer.
samurai?
That's lame. Let's make you see Paki and then you made samurais. Come on.
Yeah. The disrespect. One last look at the draft. You had previously called that it's French or Mongols against Lancaster. And do you think it could be a Bassett? Do you think
No.
it could be Mongols?
No.
You think it's French versus Lancaster in this final matchup? Because that is what
He
I
could take
think.
Mongol and gamble that he gets a good trade, but
Yeah.
that is why I cast right there.
There it is. There it is.
So I'm also expecting trade, which I'm not
Really?
sure if we've seen this tournament.
What if the markets are bad? Do you just do it anyway? Or
They have
is
to
this
be.
also
They have to be really bad. Like they have to be like behind his base or something.
direct middle or something?
Yeah. But that happens very rarely on Dry Arabia, which is why I think he's picking on Dry Arabia. Look, the fingers are going. The fingers are moving.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe they're playing like Minecraft or something.
No, we are in. It turns out we are actually in game number 5 here. This is just another one added to the list of sets in this tournament. Masters of Steel, hosted by Women, sponsored by Steel Series, long day. And this has just been an incredible tournament. Don't laugh at me. He's laughing at me.
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
had a mouthful there. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. We're all doing our best here.
We're
And we're in game number 5. I was trying to hype it up.
The last match of the group stage.
It's crazy.
That's it.
This is it.
This is the
This is
last
for-
player that will be entering into round of 4, right?
Yeah. This is it. It comes down to this game. House of Lancaster, Anotand versus Louis
God.
French. You're expecting the trade.
Don't
and
look.
it's-
Don't look at the markets, guys. Oof, that's a good market.
Oh, that's a perfect market.
That's a good
for
market
Chamber of
right there.
Commerce.
And
You
if I'm a
thinking-
Louis and I see that, I go, Look at that top wood line. You could just do a little wall there, prevent that whole side being. Oh my God,
That's
it's
crazy.
happening.
But
he's getting
Anotand-
tower rushed.
Yeah, Anotand's coming forward here. He wants to put a little pressure on. He doesn't want French to just get the gold and get easy access to knights or techs for the traders. It kind of denies both things. And here's that first spearman comes in clutch. Louis. Wow, that's calm steel nerves. He knows exactly how much damage he can take. He doesn't want to risk leaving too soon. The villager just does a little kick maneuver and runs
Get
away.
outta here.
Yeah. Yeah, they throw their daggers.
One interesting thing is Louis loves wheelbarrow with French. Doesn't matter what matchup, he always opens the Dark Age, and a lot of people know this, obviously. So Anotand doing a super fast spearman opening in order. That's a villager.
A villager is going to go down, goes around the wrong side, but wheelbarrow kicks in, but the charge is there, and you're going to run.
Wow.
And down
Okay,
it goes,
that
and
is-
so immediately this pays for itself. Anotand is going to be happy with this opening no matter what at this point, because not only is the age up delayed, here comes the tower to deny further techs and upgrades. We might be looking at something a little awkwardly fast as the spearmen are going to, they were busy torching that. They didn't have anything.
Winston, he does not have gold for the age up.
He doesn't have gold for the age
Oh,
up, so
God,
this is
no.
desperation. The tower still being built. The spearmen taking more and more health off these villagers. They're going to retreat. Louis solid with this micro here. The town center is garrisoned in time to deal a certain wave of damage, but 2 more vills have been brought to the front. 4 gold remaining. He got enough gold to age up, but at what cost, Beasty?
Wow, I forgot I was casting it. I was just like, oh God, oh, another villager. Okay, he manages to get enough for the age up. You see a little shake from Louis. He's like, oh my God, the jacket comes off. Okay,
Jacket
Anotand is
comes
good.
off.
Okay, now he's like, okay.
Oh, the jacket goes on
Throws
the
it on the
floor.
floor.
Throw it on
Okay.
the ground. He's like,
Kill
get
my
this outta
villager?
here. I got a game to win. School of Cav, no Chamber of Commerce. He didn't even have
Because the gold.
Yeah, everything is under pressure.
Oh,
and-
he is pissed.
yeah, Louis is ready.
I have never seen him like this.
Yeah, that was impressive. Or maybe he's
I don't
just
know
a
if that's
little-
a good thing or a
maybe
bad
he's just a
thing.
little overheated. Like it's hot.
No, he's pissed.
Okay.
He lost the villager in Dark Age. You go, I can't believe you just did that. Now, the villager count is now still, it's 18 to 17.
I mean, the French benefit, right? You
Should it
train
already
bills
kick
slightly
in?
faster.
I guess it should. I'm wrong.
But it should be equalized, probably.
Okay, that's the Beasty special right there. We see double gold next.
2 villagers.
one
Wait.
another.
Louis is almost 2 villagers ahead.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of idle time for
Well,
Anotand.
because, the spearmen were a lot, and
They were very fast, and the villager was pulled, right? But
Abbey of Kings. We're gonna see.
Oh god.
We're gonna see the
okay.
Chads.
Okay.
The Lords are
no
coming
one
in.
predicted that. That is crazy.
That's crazy. That is actually pretty.
And we know it's not a misclick because where he put it, right? He
Yeah.
didn't put it next to gold. And where is Louis? Okay, Louis needs to see this. I don't know
has
how
to see
many
this coming,
people. I don't know how many people actually scout for this.
Yeah, I mean,
How many times have they seen this?
This is actually important where his scout goes next. Does he just try and like scout the middle for the sheep, or is he actually going to go look and see what is happening? Because Anotand's, the Abbey of Kings, if you're not aware, it gives you access to 4 lords, each of which will add an additional boost of HP to nearby infantry, and that's stacked. So having 4 of these is really, really, really potent. And it's sort of like having an extra upgrade that you have to maintain with keeping the lords alive in these combat situations. So the question is, what does Anotand make with the lords here?
Well,
I mean, they're sort of like a man-at-arm, I guess. You could just
yeah,
sort of,
they're.
like,
I mean, you
dive them
usually
with
want
the
to
arm.
make infantry with it because cavalry kind of runs away from them, and you lose the whole point of them.
Yeah.
But I actually now I'm thinking, so he didn't go Lancaster Castle, right? So what I'm thinking is he skipped it because it doesn't really help against knights too much.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is he might still go Manor Boom. 3 or 6, and then just mass units and commit to feudal age. It is extremely important for Louis to realize this. If he does not, this might end with one of those very unfortunate. Oh, I was not aware you actually did that. Okay, he's scouting right now. We need to keep this vision and see what he sees. Look, he's not even checking the landmark because it's so automatic,
He's
right?
looking. Well, he doesn't want to run into it on accident. Oh, he's looking. He's looking a little bit. He might be sniffing this out. He's like.
He's like, what's happening?
like,
Wait,
what's going on?
Anotand got stone for the tower. This is not a manor boom. There's no manners. Anotand right now is cooking. There's sauce all over the floor, all over his.
He sees it. He saw
sees it right now.
He sees it. He
Okay,
saw.
okay,
he
now
saw the
he's
Lord.
like,
He
"Oh,
definitely
what is
saw it if
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
looking
yeah,
quickly. The question is, how do you deal with it? And I think it's knights and archers, and that's surprisingly Hobbler. What? Okay, so this is Anotand has some plan here, and this is it. He prepped this at some point probably and said, I only use this when I have to. And he said, you know what? Game 5, elimination game.
Yeah.
If I go down, you know what? At least I'm going to bring out the hot sauce.
Yeah,
At least I'm going to bring the spice to the table.
whenever you're doing these kinds of builds, you don't do it to multiple people.
Yeah, it's
The
a
next
one.
time someone plays against this, they're like, oh yeah, I know what you're gonna do. I
just
know
tower
what
the
I'm supposed to do
gold.
against that.
I won't get wheelbarrow, and then
Right.
I won't lose the fill, and then I'll be okay.
Right, I'll just make units. But
And then I'll
but
scout to see what landmark you make.
What's happening
a
right now is Louis with his scout in
Hobble our
Anotand's
lord.
base, and he's checking and he's like, I'm not seeing anything here. There's nothing going on, but he should.
He's seeing it now in the south. He's spotting it in the south. This is a huge moment.
Does
he
he see-
sees the
oh,
lumber camp.
okay,
he sees the spearman. He's gonna come around. He's gonna see the stable,
Oh my
and this
God.
should issue a reaction from Louis. What does he do? Double stable. You now know what is coming. You know what is a Hobbler all-in spam proxy-based build. We rarely see proxy builds in AoE 4. This isn't a common strategy, and Anotand is bringing it to the forefront by attempting it here. We see the investment in defenses because he knows the Hobbler are coming. The thing is, Hobbler are really good at raiding under defenses. They're really good against archers, and that is all Louis has. He has 2 knights to defend against us. Now, the Hobbler have very low HP, so the Knight Charge is devastating against them. That is probably the best bet Louis has to dealing with both the combination of the mobility and the armor on these Hobbler. And I think if he could just get a few knights out, it'll be okay. Prof Scouts.
I feel like he needs another tower there. Like, I would throw down another one. Like, that's kind of scary, right, with the amount of units coming in. And he needs to realize proxy buildings, right, committing, this has to be some kind of all-in. When we see the left side, a bunch of units are coming, and Louis is trying to secure
They're looping
at the same
the
time.
villagers. They wanted another tower, but there's no space at the inn. 6 Hobblers chasing down these 5 villagers. This could be for all the marbles. Anotand smelling blood. The Night Charge, though, coming to defend. is this going to be enough? The villagers running in like a headless chicken, just like, where do I go?
Where do I run? Both sides, there's units on top of them. So
Yeah.
one thing that tipped off Louis right there is when he was in Anotand's base, he kept scouting like, what are you making? You're not a lot of gold, you're not aging up, there's no production buildings, and then he saw villagers on wood. So he's like, okay, well, you have to have something somewhere. And then he went to scout the tower and saw the production buildings. This is a lot of damage being taken, I feel like, for nothing. 3 Hobolars are going to be almost going down, and Louis is stabilizing.
But it's kind of okay if the game really does slow down. Now, you don't want to do this right now, but you still have the Abbey at home. So a low HP Hobolar can just head on home and full heal really quickly and then join the fight later. It is a lot of micro, but I mean, it's Anotand. He'll be able to manage this. If he splits off these hurt units, heals them up. The one question mark there is, would you rather have them forward being aggressive?
And there's some very, very bad news for Louis right now. He is out of food under his TC. There are 2 deer, I think, but there's too many villagers to gather that, so he is struggling to gather food right now. He needs to get, okay, he's securing the deer, he's pushing the front army. Now, the strength of, I guess, Louis' position is that he can just push one side out, and the other one cannot do much without the first one, right? Like, Anotand's army is strong together, but not separately, so he manages to secure more deer, which is going to keep him afloat. These Hobolars are doing some harassment, but they cannot actually harass the gold at the top, right? So what Anotand probably wants to try and do is maybe get +1 range attack and dive on those 2 towers.
And he's getting Yeoman out now, so he's going for a full tri-comp from the Lancaster base without any manners. And this is now with 4 lords. Once a full-fledged fight takes place, once they fully commit their troops into each other, these units from House of Lancaster will be so durable against the archers, at least. I mean, the knights might still kind of kill things, but
yeah,
there's only 8 of them on the field, which is definitely not where Louis wanted to be at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and you can see Louis is like the ship is sinking and he's just running around trying to deny units, and he's doing a pretty good job. He did lose 3 villagers, one of them being in Dark Age, so I feel like he didn't take as much damage. Like, I think this is okay. He's producing faster. If this was with manners, this is terrible. Like, this is super, super bad for Louis and almost game-ending damage, even though 3 villagers only went down. But because there is no manners, he actually just, as long as he just remains calm, there's deer on 2 different sides on the map, so he can actually go and try to sneak in some more. The knights can potentially escort, and Anotand's comp is very, what I like to call zug-zug. He needs to go for it, he needs to commit, and if he doesn't overwhelm, the French army will win, because this French army with micro is one of the best armies you can make in Feudal.
Yeah, and I think we just don't often see this army from Anotand, so we don't fully know. But the Hobolars are going to get spotted by that outpost. The scouts now trying to wrap around as well to maybe find more deer, but there's none to be had up here to carry home.
Wow, and we see right now Anotand is on the bottom deer pack. He is on the top deer pack, but those knights are coming right now, and that is a lot of villagers. And I think because, so this is the thing, Louis sees Hobolars, and he's like, okay, if I keep chasing you towards your base, you're actually leading me to your base. So what Louis can do right now is leave a couple of knights on the Hobolars and send everything here to try kill these villagers, which he sees right now. And that is most likely what he might try and do, or at least he will know, okay, this is where I can raid with my knights.
Yeah, it's a lot of knights now, 12 on the field. And, you know, we talk about proxies not all that often in the AoE 4 scene because it's not a widely known strategy, but there are issues with proxies that do come if it doesn't immediately lead to kind of like a cheesy win. Oh, this is not intended. This is not intended from Louis. This is a big misclick.
Okay,
Oh.
this one could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
Could have been worse, but he is going to pull back. Now, that is a massive army. 16 spearmen and soon to be 50 knights. That is not the numbers you want to be playing
And
with.
it's a lot of micro you're going to have to put on the French player, whereas Anotand can just sort of A-move a bit and just try and tactically move the Hobolar. Louis has to click very precisely, and it's kind of weird because these production buildings are a bit, you know, isolated, but the Hobolar raid's coming around the side, the main fight in the center looking like it could go either way at this point. It really comes down to, is this no manner build from Lancaster strong enough to contend with this potent French army in the feudal age? We do see an upgrade advantage slightly for Louis at the moment, but Anotand's slowly starting to creep up in that department. Now the archers going to be trying to find these snipes. It's in the fog of war, in this stealth force. It's hard to see. The Hobblers starting to get us around. The Archers taking damage left and right. The Knights nowhere to be found. Their charges on cooldown. The Hobblers getting a good amount of damage, and the Spearmen are there to defend. 15 Spearmen remain in this fight, buffed up by those 4 Lords of Lancaster. The Knights try and take a defensive position with the Stone Mine defending them. The Lords, oh no, the army for Anotand is just collapsing. The front line has gone down. The charge came up cooldown. Perfect charge micro from Louis. Idle vills galore because the Lords are going down. The Hobbler have found the position on the Archers, but not before all but 3 Spearmen are on the field. The Archers doing their job. The Knights remain on the field with 13 to go. Nothing left in the tank for Anotand. The economic all-in not there for him. Louis has just mopped the floor with Anotand's army. It was not enough to contend with those Knights.
Wow, and he basically kept almost all the Knights alive. So he did trade the Archers out, but he killed all the Spearmen. That's what matters. And once the Lords start falling, that's where your whole army starts losing HP. And he just microed so well. He kited into that choke and then said, you know what, this is pretty good to fight in. You want to surround me? If I make a choke here with my Knights, you're going to be doing a lot less damage to my army while my Archers do all the work. And he's got the bag berries over here. The food situation for both players is about to look terrible for both of them, right? For Louis and Anotand, where usually House of Lancaster is going to have manners. He's enjoying. He's maybe like on his first berries right now, but the situation is dire for both of them. And if you look in Anotand's base, all his food remaining is forward, right? That top tier pack, this berry patch right here, and Louis now has all the freedom to move out on the map because he has more army.
Yeah, and even getting Chivalry now to heal up these hurt Knights. And man, I just keep thinking back to that big critical fight there. There was this one moment where Louis looked like he wanted to cycle charge. The charge was off cooldown on everything, and the Hobblers just really collapsed on the Archers. Imagine if all those Archers were full HP when that fight around the Stone Mine had been there.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows the power of this French force and how Anotand maybe miscalculated a bit the potency of these Lords in this situation, and he's shaking his head, clearly disappointed in the situation right now, maybe seeing the writing on the wall, playing this out a little bit longer, trying to see if there's any windows. You never want to resign early in games like this.
That is a lot of... he doesn't even know where to send them. I think he's just going to mine gold and buy food. Maybe he's hoping, you know, like maybe Louis runs out of food as well.
Run out of gold.
Yeah, like he has nothing else to do, right? So he's probably going to buy some food and try somehow get us around, but that he has so many units that just Knights can, I think, kill him at this point. And Louis denying all the food sources, he's probably feeling pretty good. At this position, Louis can actually go farms. Even though it's very weird, very early, he can go farms and just be like, well, my army is better, you're not gathering, so let's just play that kind of game. And that is a lot of Knights. They're all healing up, by the way, so they're going to be ready for the last fight. And we see Textiles even coming in for Louis. He's like, you know what, let me just not risk. Let me just not risk anything. Make sure that is all good. And Anotand, obviously, this is the last game, right? If he loses, he's out, and he doesn't want to quit. He wants to keep playing, keep trying, and he's probably looking into some kind of magical surround.
Do you know what the magic was? It was a sweater. The moment that sweater hit the floor, the game completely shifted.
He was pissed off. That one villager, I actually think that one villager death did more damage to Anotand than it did to Louis in this game.
That's a big brain take. I don't know if that's true.
I think if that villager runs away, Anotand wins. Because the jacket wouldn't come off, Louis wouldn't be pissed off, but that villager going down just kind of snowballed everything.
Old claim. Oh my god. Oh, that is... Oh, this is going to be the end of it for Anotand. That's the end of it for Anotand here. There's no way. Oh, you can see the wince. The pain comes through. The Knights are there. Oh no, the Spearmen. That's a lot of spears. But for what?
But I
mean, at this point, the Knights can just fight. They've got the Archers. The Archers just tanking for the Knights here. It's going to be brutal. The villagers join the fray. They say, hey, we got bows too. We can join. Anotand tries. I mean, he's got a lot of spears here, but it's just simply not enough. Louis, on the back of his Knight play, is going to take game number 5 in this elimination round, promotional round, what have you. Louis will be our 4th semifinalist to attend the games tomorrow. Incredible work from him. A sigh of relief from the victor.
Yeah, I mean, Louis obviously winning the last tournament, right? Coming in as favored into this tournament. almost getting knocked out, right?
Yeah.
In a round of, I guess, 6.
Was that three best of fives that went to game 5 for Louis in a row?
Like you said, you saw the sigh of relief being like, oh my God, like, whew, that was a close one, right? It went to game 5. And yeah, he might not be like super, ecstatic, oh, he went to game 5, but he is very, very happy that he has made it all the way through and that he advances to the semifinals. And semifinals are going to be very, very interesting matchups, rematch of the last tournament finals, which was Marine Lord versus Louis.
That will be spicy indeed. Just want to give one big shout out and round of applause for Anotand there for putting on a great fight. He had a lot of really exciting series this game, one against you, one against some others, and clearly here against Louis, he brought his A game, and it was so close. It was so close. We were talking about like a game of inches, as they say. This was super, super tight. Really came down to these draft choices and how this game panned out in the end. Was just so super thrilling. All right, and I think we are all set here. Thank you, Beasty, for joining me in the casting booth. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we are ready to head to the interview.
Take it away.
So, guys, this was an action-packed day, and we are here with the final semi-finalist here. And I have 1 or 2 questions for you. Rongima, was it easy? Oh, wait. Are you happy? Wait. Are you happy? Are you Rongima?
I'm happy. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, was it easy? What is it? I wrote it out. 你开心吗?
Very difficult. 很困难.
Really?
Yeah, hard one.
Because Anotand is someone that at this LAN he did very well, but you are someone who is very scary at the LAN. So, do you think you can win tomorrow?
我觉得明天不一定赢。我在这次线下赛感觉睡眠质量不是很好，但是希望我能发挥好一点吧。
So I don't think I can definitely win tomorrow because the sleeping quality during these days are not so good for me. But I'll try hard to win tomorrow.
You are a favorite at this event. People love LoueMT. Everyone wants LoueMT to do well. So, do you believe that you can beat Marine Lord if you sleep well tonight?
I will try my best.
Oh, that's all we can ask for. So, aside from that, from the other side of the group, do you think Beasty or Wham will make it to the final?
沃姆这次线下赛打得特别好，我觉得这是一场非常激烈的 BO7。我希望谁赢呢？我感觉5-5开吧。
So Wham is performing extremely well during this LAN event, and it will be a hard matchup tomorrow. But I hope Wham will win that.
Ooh. So,
but I think they are like 50-50.
So you have a favorite. Okay. And last question about this. Who do you think at the tournament perform the best? So usually maybe they don't score too high, but now they are looking good. Is there anyone that you think?
我觉得这次线下赛每个人打得都很好，我觉得都远超乎我的想象。
So I think everyone is performing pretty well, and they go far beyond than my imagination.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, congratulations, Louis. You played amazingly. And I think all your fans in China and in our countries in the West are very proud of you. And I think if anyone, you can see we've got the Steel Series glitter as well. So we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for putting up an amazing show. And Twitch chat, we'll see you back here tomorrow at 12. So tomorrow, more things up for grabs. Oh, there's my camera. Oh, now it's there. So, head back in and we will make sure that you can win some gear that you can keep this memory alive as well. We'll see you back here tomorrow with our 4 Chads and hopefully we get another long set of games. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.